And good morning and welcome to the 2025 Australian Shortcourse Swimming Championships here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. I'm Tony Shebeki, looking forward to 3 amazing days of short-course swimming, and I'm calling all the action with 2 big guys of the sport. First of all, a 2-time Olympian and backstroke world champion. Very good morning to you, Matt Welsh.
Good morning, Tony. It is great to be here. I cannot wait for the action to start, but we've got a little bit of time before we get there.
And we'll have a chat about a few things in the next couple of minutes. Also calling the action with us this week is retired Dolphin World Championship freestyler and Tokyo Olympian Alex Graham. G'day, Alex.
Yeah, g'day, Tony. G'day, Matt. Really good to be here. Woke up this morning, it was nice and sunny. I was excited for a beautiful day, and now, typical Melbourne, we've got a bit of cloud coverage, but excited nevertheless.
Beautiful one day, anyone's guess the next.
Cloudy today, 60% humidity, a high of 18, a low of 10. Feels like 10 right now. Actually, it probably feels about 7. I reckon the wind's just a nice, slight, cool breeze.
And we're not in bathers.
No,
we're not on board.
But the good thing is that we're undercover, so if it does rain on us, we will be fine. A great event, always the short course swimming championships. Normally they have something attached to them. We'll talk about that in a sec. This is what's coming up over the course of the next few hours, and we'll kick it off with some multi-class swimming, Matt.
We do. We've got a few 400s, the women's and men's multi-class 400s, and then the able-body 400 freestyle. We've got the 50 backstroke there, and you can see on the right of your screen Cam McAvoy, one of the best sprinters, you've got to say, that we've seen in recent times, the Olympic champion. And I bet he'll be going for a world record in the upcoming years. But he's really revolutionised this sprint racing. And we've got a bit of an exciting event coming up tomorrow with a 25 freestyle, which I've never seen before. But this morning, more heats to come with the 200 breaststroke, 100 breaststroke for women and men respectively, and a few more multi-class events. So plenty of action this morning.
And the 50s, Alex, are just going to be an absolute splash and dash, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's it's a really good opportunity to get in there and get a little extra push off at the 25-metre mark, so you get a bit more speed. So very excited to see those ones.
Well, we're talking about the championships here today. There's no selection trials here for the next 3 days. So does that take a little bit of the pressure off the athletes?
Look, I guess so. That it's a national championships regardless. In the short course format, the 25-metre pool, rather than the standard Olympic 50-metre course. But it's still a national championships. There's still pride on the line, and getting up and racing against the best in the country.
And when it comes to seeing big names here over the next 3 days, Alex, we won't get all the massive names in the Dolphin squad because obviously they've just had a big program through the World Champs, but we do have some.
Yeah, definitely, and I was able to speak with Sam Short yesterday. I bumped into him around the pool deck, and he's using this, he's getting some reps in before he travels over to the World Cup meets. So we'll see a few Dolphins who are doing the same thing, really testing themselves before they go and race internationally.
So we see the swimmers there getting ready for the first heat. This is the marshalling room. We'll be seeing a few shots from in here as the swimmers prepare for their events. They'll walk directly from this room out onto pool deck to race. And so getting themselves prepared, psyched up mentally, physically, ready for the racing as the crowd's starting to move in for this first session.
So I have a bit of a motorsport background, and drivers normally have a driver's briefing before their race. Do you have the same thing in swimming? In the marshalling room, is there anything said to the swimmers, or are they just waiting to come out?
It's pretty much just making sure they're there, they're in the right spot, they know what's sort of going on, just so that they come out onto pool deck and know exactly where they're meant to go. So not so much just because the race goes, there's many races over the whole period, but they do have a briefing at the start of the meet, just mainly to coaches and that sort of thing, just for distance events, for marshalling procedures around that. But yeah, here at Albert Park, very well known for its motorsport pedigree at this park, and literally about 50 metres away from turn 3 at Albert Park Lake.
Where Michael Schumacher's brother just had that massive crash many years ago.
Even Alonso a couple of years ago, straight in.
Exactly. The mentality of short course swimming. Alex, tell us about that. How much different is it to the 50-metre pool?
Yeah, look, there's just a few different things you like to work on. Obviously, your starts and your turns are extremely important. I used to love short course swimming. It was fast. The times end up being faster because you do get those extra push-offs. an opportunity to work on your underwaters as well. So that was a strength of mine that you can take into the long course pool there. So you'll see the skills being worked. It'll be faster, and you'll really see the races being won off those turns and those underwaters.
Swimmers on deck. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, and I was going to say, to follow up on Alex's point, you're allowed to go 15 metres underwater and in the free back and butterfly, which is over half of the length.
Yeah.
Obviously, 12.5 being the halfway of 25. So you can actually race these races more than 50% underwater, and we will definitely see a bit of that.
Our swimmers are on deck for our first event of the program. It is the women's multi-class 400 metre freestyle, and of course it is an event where we'll see people racing under different classifications due to their situation. S1 to S10, part of the Paralympic classification for swimmers with physical impairments. S11 to S13 classes are for vision impaired, and S14 swimmers can also compete at the Paralympics and have an intellectual impairment that impacts their ability. And they hit the pool for the first event of the championships, the women's open 400 metre freestyle. And one of the swimmers that we'll be keeping an eye on is 28-year-old Sydney girl Samantha Pratt.
Yes, and looking very strong in the middle of the pool already. Nolene Ponto in lane 5. She really got out away from the field. Now, as you said, Tony, this is a multi-class event, so all of these swimmers in different multi-classes, but a lot of S19s in this class. Jessica McDermott in lane 0, Danica Biddle lane 2, Evie Lee in lane 1, Avea Dennis in lane 4, Nolene Ponta in lane 5, Amelia Steiner in lane 6, all S19, and Grace Ryder in lane 9, so plenty of S19. So there will be races within races in this 400 free.
And going out to a nice handy lead early on out in lane 5 is Nolene Ponta. Came into the championship with a seated time of 4:42.58, just behind Avea Dennis in a 4:42.28, our two fastest times. But of course this isn't done over times, it's done over points. Matt, you might just like to explain that to us.
Yes, as we said, 7 of these girls in that S19 category. Just the 3 not in that. Emily Pratt, as you mentioned before, Tony, in the S9, and a couple of S10s in Samantha Pratt and Emmeline Garrod. So races within races, and their times are based off the world record. So the world record for this event would be 1,000 points, roughly, or the best time over the last 12 to 18 months would be 1,000 points, and then it's scaled back from there. So they're coming through now. We've got 25 minutes to go until they hit basically that halfway point in the 400, and we'll be able to see what pace they're on. Based on their final time, that'll be compared to the world record. They'll get a point score, and we've got 2 heats this morning of this 400 freestyle, and the top 10 point scores, not times, point scores will go through. That's the fairest and even way to separate the swimmers in a multi-class event. All of the swimmers are racing against a different world record. But as we said, 7 of this first heat, all in that S19 category.
Nolene Ponto, the swimmer from Auburn, 14 years old, out in lane number 5. Has about a 4 or 5 length lead at the moment. Let's call that around about 10 metres by the time she gets through, and swimming quite nicely too, Alex.
Yeah, swimming absolutely beautifully. What I love to see in this freestyle race is those nice high elbows. You're keeping the strokes nice and long. And since the start, you know, those strokes have been long, elbows have been high, not really seeing much fatigue. A little bit coming in on the legs, I think. I mean, we'd like to see those bubbling little legs kicking along, but overall swimming a fantastic race so far.
I was just looking at the same thing, Alex. The legs on a bit of a holiday at the moment, but you know, this is just to make it through to that final, and she's looking very, very good against the rest of the field. It's a big pacing game, the 400, isn't it? It's still, you have to be strong. You've got to be strong the whole way, but you've got to manage your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's different techniques that you're going to talk about with your coach. You don't want to go out too hard. You don't want to burn those legs early. You want to be able to bring something in the back end, and that's something that the swimmers and the coaches will be working really hard on.
Mate, you were explaining to me yesterday in regards to a distance race on the short course, and the fact that you can take a little bit of a rest more often due to the turns, which gives you more energy, obviously, during the swim.
Yeah, just the fact that you're moving your legs, you know, you're bending them, getting a different action on the turn. You're not having that sort of static pain the entire way. It does just give you that little bit of extra rest as we turn now with about 50 metres to go for our race leader. So she's definitely pushed away, and those legs, as you said, Alex, starting to come in a little bit, but she's definitely saving a bit for tonight too.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have been a tactical thing there just to save them and bring them in for the last 25 metres. But overall, a very strong heat so far. We are looking for the fastest qualifiers to move through to the final tonight.
And at the moment, Nolene Ponto has a great time of it as she makes her way onto the wall to compete our first heats and touches out in a time of around about 4:43.13. So just over her best time. Tight for second and third between Dennis and Steiner.
Only 8 100ths between second and third. That was very tight over a 400.
And it's going to be tight also for fourth and fifth, one would think, out here in lane 7 and also back in lane number 3. Samantha Pratt touches in 4th place, and then out in lane number 7, Gorord in 5th as the remainder of the swimmers make their way back. But a nice heat to start off the championships with, gentlemen.
It was lane 9 just coming in for the final swimmer from first heat, and as we said, top 10 times from this heat and the next heat. Just the 5 swimmers in the following heat as the swimmers exit the pool, and we wait for those times to be official and wait to see the point scores. It does look like Pratt has got the top point score, 714, as we see the results on your screen, and it is 714 points for Pratt and 652 for Samantha Pratt.
Yeah, so not the Pratt that we thought, but Emily Pratt out in lane number 8 with the most points. Samantha Pratt in second place, as you said, and then Emmeline Gyrord in third on that point score.
So we'll know that you really need to be up around that 500-600 point mark at least to have a sniff of making that top 10 for tonight, as we see the swimmers for the next heat, heat 2 of this short course 400 metres freestyle multi-class first or second heat for this first event at the Australian Short Course Championships.
Only 5 swimmers in this heat as well, out in lanes 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Molly Griffin in lane 2, Lexi Phillips in lane 3, Chloe Maxwell in lane 4, Chloe McAuliffe in 5, and Laura Stobie in lane 6.
All the girls just taking off their winter jackets because a little bit of a cool breeze has just turned coming in off the sea potentially, and it's a little bit chilly here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, but they'll be well warmed up and ready to go.
Might even see some of the back-end 25s as they head back towards the finish be faster than the first 25s with this headwind we've got going.
Yeah, you can see the flags just being pushed a little bit there as a few little gusts come in. So 4 swimmers as it turns out. In this heat, we can see them there, just the 4. 2 S7s rather, 2 S7s. S14 and S10.
Oh, we've got Laura Stobie starting in the water.
Oh, yeah. She is coming in from the side.
She's coming in now.
Yeah, so no, there's 5. So 3 S7s.
It's really good to see the girls extending themselves into this 400-metre race. It's a tough event, you know, and typically you can see people maybe going down to the 50s and the 100s, but it is really good to see.
It's an event not unlike the 400 metres in athletics, is it? It's a pretty much full-on sprint. You've got to go, you've got to be on all the time.
Well, I sort of like to see it, if you're going to compare it to athletics, almost sort of times by 4. Like a 100-metre swim is sort of like a 400-metre run, that sort of thing. So this is sort of almost like a 1500 kind of thing. So there is definitely a pacing behind it. But you've got to get out fast, you've got to come home fast.
So the 1500's like a marathon, then, I Our swimmers are in for heat number 2 of our first event, the women's multi-class 400 metre freestyle. And a good start out in lane number 5 for Chloe McAuliffe.
And interesting to note here that these are all Paralympic events in their categories. So S1 up to S14 is the Paralympic classification. So all these ladies could potentially be Paralympians. Getting their training in and off to a fantastic start in lane 5 there. Chloe McAuliffe, but closely followed by Chloe Maxwell.
Now, she just made up a bit of ground actually, Chloe Maxwell, in that second 25. So they are neck and neck here at the 75 metre mark.
We saw in the first heat, Ponto went out hard in that first 25, and she really wasn't, matched for the rest of the event. She had it all to herself, but looks like the Chloes are out to have a bit of a battle, and coming up to the 100 metre mark, and they're still neck and neck.
Having said that, though, it looks like Chloe Maxwell has gone half a body length out in front now as they are about to touch and turn. 100 down of the 400 metre freestyle multi-class, and it is Chloe Maxwell with a 1:20.82 in front.
Yeah, just able to get off those walls just that little bit more, and as you said before, Alex, those skills, the turns, especially getting off the wall and starting that next 25 just that little bit sooner makes so much difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be critical over the next few days, and we'll see it quite a fair bit. How the turns can prove to be the difference in the end. You know, the swimming speed might be the same amongst some competitors, but one or two might be a little bit quicker on the turns and a little bit quicker on the underwaters.
Well, everyone loves practicing turns in training. It's the can we do turns? Where they're really sort of coming to the fore in this short course format as our swimmers now pass the 150 metre mark, so almost halfway through. But it is our swimmer in lane 4, Chloe Maxwell, our S14 swimmer from Good Life, 16 years of age. An entry time of 5:26, so just outside the times set in the previous heat. So it's going to have to be a big personal best this morning to make it into that top 10. As the wind, you can see the flags there really starting to move as the wind starts to come in. I think you're right, Alex, definitely going to have a tailwind on that back 25.
I think so. We might have even just saw it just then. I saw the feet come over a little bit quicker onto that wall there. So we'll see how it plays out in this race.
Just a reminder too that this isn't effectively based on time in the pool or position. All these swimmers are classified, and in this case Chloe Maxwell's an S14 compared to Chloe McAuliffe, who's second at the moment, who is an S10. So their time will be ranked against their category's timing to the world record, and they will receive points on that, and that's how we'll determine who our top 3 in the pool will be at the end of it.
And based on that, Lexi Phillips in lane 3, S7 swimmer, so equal with Molly Griffith and Laura Stobie in lane 2 and lane 6 respectively. So Lexi Phillips doing very, very well, 17 years of age from Hunter. She'll be looking for a good points haul to get them through to that final for tonight.
We are down to 250 metres gone, so 150 metres remain in this women's multi-class 400 metre freestyle events. Our second heat. Off the back of this, we'll get into the men's multi-class 400, and also 2 heats there as well. Massive program of swimming coming your way here on Nine's Wide World of Sports for the next 3 days. Heats in the morning and finals at night.
Well, it looked like a bit of a battle at the start, but with 100 metres to go, it is definitely Chloe Maxwell's swim. She's well out in front, about 75, about 80 metres to swim in fact, 75 when she hits this turn. And she's paced herself very well, looks very much the same pace the whole way through. And that's what we like to see. Will we see the kick just come in a little bit more, or will she save it for tonight if she does make it? In fact, if I was her coach, I'd be liking to see that kick coming in just to make sure she does a fast time and gets a good points haul from this morning.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're this far out in front, the different things that motivate you as well. So the coaches will be looking for their swimmers to really lift their legs and their stroke rates coming into that final 50 in the final turn. But yeah, this is a very, very comfortable looking swim so far.
25 metres to go for Chloe Maxwell. She is out in front by nearly 25 metres, I would say, ahead of second place at the moment, which is Chloe McAuliffe in lane 5. But Chloe Maxwell from Good Life, 16-year-old, brings it home in heat number 2 of the women's multi-class 400 freestyle in a time of 5:36.70. So 10 seconds, you could say, or thereabouts, slower than her best time in the last 12 months.
So we'll be looking for that point score, all importantly, and how they go. The rest of the swimmers coming through. We saw the swimmer in lane 6, Laura Stobie, turning. She's got 50 metres to go, and you'll see that in that short course format. But finishing strong is the other Chloe McAuliffe in lane 5, 14-year-old, in a time of 6:00, so almost under the 6 minutes. And third home, Phillip, 6:06.66.
The great news for Chloe McAuliffe is that's 5 seconds under her best time in the last 12 months, so she's coming to this meet with some form.
Yeah, looking at Lexi Phillips there, humongous PB. She's about 21 seconds quicker than her previous best, so obviously doing a lot of good work in training, and it's really good to see those results pay off.
So wait for our final swimmer to come in, where we wait for the times to be official and the point scores to be determined.
Laura Stobie brings it home now in 5th place. No, she still has another 50 to go.
I think that may have actually been her finish, and she's lost count. So her time will probably count from that wall. And thankfully it's a freestyle race, so there's no form aspect that she needs to cover, and just her touching the wall will be enough.
And it does happen, you know, and especially in this short course pool, you do tend to lose count sometimes. These longer races.
I'm not going to lie, I've lost count in a 200. This is a 400, so there's no dramas there whatsoever.
We still have a swimmer out there in lane number 2.
I think she potentially did have 50 to go, and maybe finished a little bit early. So we do see that in the short course races. So one of them got it right, one of them didn't. But a good swim nonetheless, as we see the point scores coming up. So it does look like Lexi Phillips, you called it with that fast time, that big PB. It looks like she's got the highest point score at the moment, 5:96, but yet to be confirmed. So we'll wait for the times to be confirmed by the officials.
Coming up next is the men's multi-class 400 freestyle. And there is our official point score now. So Lexi Phillips doing a great job with 596 points. The fastest time right there. Chloe Maxwell in second, and Chloe McAuliffe taking third with 404 points.
So top 10 will make the final for tonight based on the point scores. So 596 is going to be right in there with a shot. And now the boys come out onto pool deck for event 2, the men's multi-class 400 freestyle for men. We can see them now coming out with their winter woolies on. It hasn't got any warmer yet, unfortunately. And the 400 free, though, is a great way to get warm.
What I am loving is the difference in age from swimmer to swimmer. Andrew Dinn in lane 1 will be 17 years of age. And we go out to David Bale in the next heat, 52 years of age from Wodonga.
I actually missed David Bale there. I was looking at Kelvin Tran, 26, and Ryan McRae, 33. But yes, it's a multi-class, multi-everything in this event. And another 16 laps with the 400 metres freestyle.
Joshua Alford in lane 4, a veteran of the multi-class ranks. Just absolutely loves the sport, Alex.
Does indeed. I'm 1 year retired now, and used to see Josh around the pool deck all the time at every meet, so really loves it, and good to see that he's still going.
Represented Australia too at the Commonwealth Games back in 2014.
Yep, and that is 11 years ago, so that is some career.
I was actually at those games in Glasgow.
It's great, the Commonwealth Games, how integrated the multi-class events are. Rather than having a separate event, it's great to be able to, to watch, be part of, and socialise with them as well. So now up on pool deck, first heat.
Take your marks.
And away they go. First heat of the men's multi-class 400 freestyle. Andrew Din in lane 1, Lockie Bellion in lane 2, Nathan Maxwell lane 3, Joshua Alford in lane 4, Benjamin Wills in 5, James Logan in 6, Sean Deutsch in 7, and Kelvin Tran in 8.
Well, Alex, we asked for a bit of a kick in the from the girls in the 400, and the boys have delivered. The kick has come on strong. We expect it potentially won't last the whole 400. They'll back off a little bit, but it's looking good this early stages.
Yeah, it is indeed. And you can see just there, as we speak, Nathan Maxwell's just eased off the legs a little bit. So different tactics in these races. Short course, 400 metres. Probably going out quite hard in the first 50 and then bring it back down a little bit and hopefully save some for the back end of this race.
Just want to give themselves a little bit of room. And have a look around as well. You want to see what everyone else is doing, and there's nothing more confidence-inspiring than being out in front and being able to take control of the race. Also wanting a bit of the action is Willis in Benjamin Wills in lane 5. So he wants to come up and see Nathan Maxwell out there in lane 3. He's breathing to his right. In fact, he's bilateral breathing, which is very beneficial at times like this. So both sides, as they turn at the 75-metre mark.
Maxwell with a time of 1:18.79 early on.
So 1:25, so 1:50 now, my apologies. So going a lot quicker.
He's got a PB here, an entry time, sorry, of 4:38. So that is the time that he's going to try and get under. And he's looking very, very strong. I think he's going to crack that barrier.
Yeah, if you're going to go out after a PB, you can't die wondering. You've got to go out after it. And coming up to the halfway point, it looks pretty strong, really nice and smooth in his stroke. As you said, backed off the kick a little bit, but it's still there. Just putting along and keeping that front of the stroke long as he turns at that halfway mark of 209.69. So he's well on track for that 4:38. You'd think it'd be somewhere in the 4:20s. With that sort of a pace. Actually had a bit of a stop there in lane 4 for one reason or another. So Joshua Alford not able to complete this event. Takes the pressure off a few of the other swimmers, definitely. But Joshua not feeling well at this stage. So hopefully he's all right. But turning first is still Nathan Maxwell out in lane 3, and Benjamin Wills are hot on his heels trying to go out after him.
Both S19 competitors, so what you see in the pool is a true reflection of their category and the distance, I suppose, in margin between first and second for that category. So out in lane number 6, James Logan in 3rd.
We have 4 S19s and a couple of S14s in Lockie Bellion and Joshua Alford in lane 4, and James Logan at S15, Kelvin Tran also in lane 8 at S14. So races within races, the S19s, 4 of them, and 3 of the S14s. So we need to keep our eyes on the time just to get that point score.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Nathan Maxwell to bring in the legs here. He absolutely flew that first 50, so that was clearly the tactic, to get out strong and then try and hold on to that stroke. But he's looking comfortable, he's looking good. I can see those legs bubbling at the back there, so could be starting to kick.
So with 50 metres to go, he's turned well under the 4 minutes. You would think he's going to do at least a 10-second personal best at this time. And I would have to say he's got more in the tank. He definitely could be picking it up now, but let's save that for tonight. He's done more than enough in this heat swim this morning. 25 metres to go, and he's got a good lead. You can see the other coach there try to tell his swimmer, James Logan, Benjamin Wills rather, from Melton to get those legs going as he turns with 25 to go. Does Wills, and it is James Logan and Benjamin Wills going out after each other, but touching first was Maxwell, Nathan Maxwell from Good Life, 4:27.
11 seconds under his personal best.
Fantastic race there for second and third. Great to see the lads really pushing each other right towards the end there. And again in lanes 7 and 8. It's all about getting your hand on the wall.
And Kelvin Tran with another 50 to go for him out in lane 8. But it was Nathan Maxwell, first time with a time of 4:29.28 for him. As we said, actually 9 seconds under his personal best of 4:38.76.
Can't wait to see what he swims tonight. That will be, he'll go faster again, I really think. He paced that very well, got out nicely in that first 50 and then was just even from there. Add, you know, a dominant last 50 like he showed in the first one, and you've got to think he's going to take off another 2 or 3 seconds at least.
As Kelvin Tran touches the wall for his 400 metres. The whistle gives them the all clear to leave the pool, and we will have a point score update very shortly.
So it does look like Kelvin Tran is going to be right up there. James Logan, 600 points. Kelvin Tran, 560. Early stages, though, belly on with 5.56. So really tight on the point score. May not have looked it on the wall, but of course we compare those times with the world's best. And 1,000 for the world record.
James Logan gets the top points with 600 there. A time of 4:39.48. Kelvin Tran, the second amount of points, 560. And then Lockie Valiant, 5.56. Our top three from event number 2.
So you can really see there the S15 with that dominant time getting the point score, and then S14s and then the S19s from there. So the categorisation of our multi-class athletes determining those points, and top 10 points through to the final. We've got our next heat up on deck now, ready to go.
3 swimmers in this heat. Out of lane 3, David Bale from Wodonga. Out of lane 4, Tyann Hill from Good Life, and Ryan McCrane in lane number 5 from Geelong.
As we mentioned before, with David Bale at 52 years old, probably our oldest competitor here this week, I would say.
No, we'll get to that a little bit later. I reckon there's someone in their 70s or 80s. I'm sure I saw that.
Take your marks.
I remember a couple of years ago we had, I think, a 99-year-old go for that world record at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre and got it. So it's really good to see that age range as they start this next heat of the 400 freestyle. And out fast in lane 4 is Tyann, hupped. Looking really nice and strong, and David Bale with a fantastic underwater just then.
Yeah, Tyann looking good. Getting onto that wall well, just needs to really make the most of getting off that wall to set up that next 50. And he's done a good job to keep in front of David Bale right next to him. We saw the assistant of David Bale just to get him in. His coach, actually, Alex, has just been named national Paralympic coach. So he's been looking after all the Paralympic program down here in Victoria. Previously was looking after the Yarra Plenty program. So great to see the multi-class swimmers in good hands with Alex.
So the 18-year-old Tyann out there in lane number 4. Our leader from the 52-year-old David Bale, not too far behind him, but in second place. And then Ryan McCrane out in lane number 5, currently swimming in third.
Really good opportunity to try and beat those entry times this week. Whether or not you have a full heat, it's always yourself and your mind and what you can really push yourself to do out there and try and get under those times, because at the end of the day, that's what we want as swimmers, to try and beat our personal bests.
I always find it daunting to be one of the first swims up. This is the first swim of the first day, and it's a 400. That's a tricky one to get ready for. So the swimmers would have been here at least an hour before their event to start, and would have done their warm-up with their coach just to make sure that not only just their body's warmed up, but they've got their pacing right, they've got their race plan right, they're ready to go mentally as well. So now is the time that we've been thinking of and preparing for the last 6 months in the lead up. They've done the short course racing. All of the states have had their short course competitions, and leading up to this final Australian National Short Course Championships, and very lucky to have it right here in Melbourne. Don't have a lot of national championships here, so being a Melbourne boy, very proud to have everyone down here, and hope it's a great meet for everyone. And going very well now at that 200 metre mark, turning a 2:38 is Tian Haupt in lane 4. Looking strong, sits nice and high in the water, Alex, as he comes through, and a nice consistent stroke. The kick just bubbling along there, keeping him propelled forward.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see some of the swimmers with different stroke rates, which means how fast they're moving their arms in the water. So Tyan here is moving his arms pretty fast, but it doesn't look like there's been any drop-off so far. So really good consistency across the board, which is what you want in these longer events.
Doing well out in lane number 4, Tyan Haupt, our leader at the moment, as he hits the 2:75 mark.
We're going to watch for the times here as well. So as we mentioned earlier, the swimmers have their entry time that they'll be trying to get under. They should have a rough idea of the pace based off all the training that they do. You get really comfortable with the paces that you can push in training, and we hope that that translates to a race. So you should have some idea of how he's feeling, how he's going. But yeah, we're keeping an eye on the clock here for all our competitors.
Into the final 100 metres now for our leader, Tyan Haupt.
Well, you said before, Alex, everyone having different ratings, and just having a quick look, I got my coach's watch out.
I saw that.
Have a look to see how it's going. Rating about 45 strokes per minute, so it's pretty quick. We'd usually see that sort of pace in a 200 metre race. So he really is pushing it. Out in lane 3, about 30 strokes per minute is David Bale, and in lane 5, somewhere a little bit higher. Let me just get this one as he goes through, just under 40, so about 37, 38 strokes per minute. So very much different strokes for different folks, as they say, 45 down to about 30. So a lot more energy spent, but you'd have to argue less weight, less load, and able to carry that longer through this longer race.
Yeah, and you'll see the biggest, more powerful swimmers probably have a lower stroke rate. I remember watching Matt Horton do his 400 metre freestyles, and he had a very, very low stroke rate.
It's about 2, I think.
Yeah.
Tyan Haupt now brings it home to the end of 400 metres in a time of 5:17.54. That is 11 seconds under his personal best.
Yeah, really good swim there. He'll be pumped with that. And it looks strong from the get-go. We're talking about stroke rates, didn't really drop off, and he was even able to pick it up in that last 25 metres. So we'll see that other competitors here can do the same thing, get under their entry times.
Our S8 competitor, 52-year-old from Wodonga, David Bale, with about 10 metres to swim. And just on his outside in lane number 5, Ryan McGrain from Geelong. So David Bale brings it home, and Ryan McGrain touches the wall as well. Our 3 swimmers have all finished the second heat of the men's multi-class 400 metre freestyle.
Look at those point scores as well. They look pretty good. I think the previous heat, the lowest point score was 328.
Yeah, so Ryan McGrain is our highest point score with 487 on the board. Tyan with 446, and David Bale with 393. Our 3 swimmers and their point scores from that event. It's getting cold here in Melbourne, no doubt about it. The cloud cover is up, the wind is up, and our swimmers are heading out to pool deck. It is event number 3, our women's open 400 metre freestyle.
So there are 2 heats of this race, but the fastest 10 will be swimming tonight. So just 1 this morning. And as you can see, 5 up on the blocks.
And into the pool, we're missing a couple of swimmers, but let's take you through who we do have out in lane number 2. We have Kiara Jeffs in lane number 4, Molly Walker, Sarah Locke in lane number 5, Adriana Filler in lane number 6.
That's a really good start here, out in lane 4 of heat 2 here. As Matt mentioned before, there will be the time final, so the fastest 10 swimmers in this race will be swimming in the final tonight. But it's a really good opportunity for those swimming this morning to push themselves and try and get a time that will finish in the top 10. It's not out of the question that they could post a fast time here that could medal tonight.
No, I was listening to Kira Jeffs being named, and I looked up and thought, she's not in the pool. But they will be swimming tonight, so that'll be a fantastic race. But this morning, yes, as you said, Alex, it's not out of the realms of possibility to get a medal, and we've seen it in races like this. 400 is a tough one though, but as they turn through, just on the double O at the 100 metre mark for our lead up there in lane 4, Jodie Mead.
She has a personal best time of 4:21.45, so she's just off the mark from those time finalists. So she'd probably need to better her time by a second or so, and that could just see her make it into the final. Would that be correct?
Well, the top 10 will swim tonight, but it'll get her into the top 10 rankings-wise, and even a medal. I've definitely seen races where people have got up for medals from their heat swim, so their swim was so dominant. And I've got to say, turning in 1:00 with a time of 4:21, that's pretty good. So if she can go just sort of hold 105s from now, she'll be looking at time about 4:15 roughly. And that is the 3rd place time, so for tonight's final. So 3rd fastest time around that 4:15 mark, and she's turning now in a 4:06. So she's gone 1:00, 1:06 thereabouts. If she can just hold basically 105s from now, she's not going to be far from it.
Yeah, she's given it a really red hot crack, and could have been a word up from the coach this morning. And sometimes the swimmers mightn't have got an opportunity to swim short course in the past year or so, so potentially a slower entry time, but with all the work that they're doing in training, they'd be quietly confident, and that could be a real motivator this morning, is to try and push hard, knowing that they're not swimming tonight, to give it one chance to get on those medals. And the lead staying around the same, so they all seem to be holding their pace at the moment. Coming through now in lane 6.
Yeah, Jodie Hutu.
Yeah, looking to push on the back end here.
Well, we talk a lot about the skills in this short course, and yes, it's the underwaters, yes, it's the turns, but I really feel it's the breakout as well. Coming from that underwater and getting into that first stroke, if you stall a bit, you lose a bit of momentum, and then you've got the whole rest of the lap to try and make it up. And me doing a really good job, but I feel just stalling in those breakouts as she comes through. And Hutu really making the most of it, coming up nicely and starting to just bite into a little bit of that gap that Mead had enjoyed for the first part of this race.
This could be a close finish. 75 to go after this touch. And Jodie Mead from Woi Woi, the 16-year-old, leads at the moment. Jade Hutu in lane 6, coming home though, and about a body length and a half now, the difference between these two. And Madison Brand back in lane 5 in 3rd place. The touch and 50 to go, and it's still Mead.
Yep, and it looks like Hutu in lane 6 is going to make a late push here. I love watching these 400s. You see different tactics at play. Will you go out hard, or will you use your backhand to come home hard? And this is going to be a very exciting finish this morning.
The Madison Brand there from Nunawading, 16-year-old. So all 16s. Jodie Mead, 16. Madison Brand and Jade Hutu, all 16. And it will be a race of the 3. Also looking good, Chloe Douglas Byrne. In fact, no, sorry, Madison Cooper in lane 2. But first to the wall in this heat is Mead. She did well, 4:20, so a PB. Only just though.
Cooper got into 3rd in the end, 4:24.02. ahead of Brander 4:24.63.
So a real tight finish over that 400. It looked like it was going to be Jodie Meads the whole way, and she did do a good job holding on. Just outside the time I feel she needed, but will definitely be in the hunt for tonight. And technically, she's got the fastest time.
That's it. The girls tonight will be really looking to get under that 420. And it's a tough mark.
Molly Walker, the fastest qualifier for tonight, with a 4:08, and then Sarah Locke with a 4:10. But the rest of the girls, all 4:15, 16, 17s and 18s and up. So they're only just under the majority of the field. So 4:20s right in there.
We move our attention now to the men's open 400-metre freestyle. Same situation here. Heat 1 is the time final. They'll be swimming tonight. This is Heat 2.
And 2 heats this morning.
Full pull for the first, and then 6 in the second of our heats this morning.
Take
And the
your
starters'
marks.
orders. And in they go. In lane 0, Jessie Phillips from Surrey Park, Tyler Theodore in lane 1 from Caulfield, and then 3 swimmers from Rocky City, Cooper Love in 2, Lachlan Kuss in 3, Kyle Taylor in 4 from Campbelltown in lane 5, Nathan Williams, Flynn Phillips in lane 6 from Surrey Park, Jordan Harkins from West Christchurch in 7, Riley Jackson, Randwick City, and Eamon Jeffs in lane 9 from Randwick City as well. 50 down.
Like you, Alex, I like to see the sort of, people sorting themselves out in this first 50 to 100 metres. So turning the 75-metre mark, and it's Phillips out in lane 6 from Surrey Park. Turns in a 40.8 at that 75, which is a pretty decent swim at this early stage of the race. As he looks across and sees his competition in Taylor in 4 and all the way out to Theodore in lane 1 as well. So they're going to have to look across. This is one of the reasons why lane 4 is the coveted lane. You do get to see more of the pool, especially in these distance events. So that's what they'll be racing for, to look across to try and get that bit of gap so you can see what's unfolding in this race as we come down to the 150-metre mark.
Our top 3 separated by 0.5 of a second.
So Phillips holding on by 1/100th of a second. 1:25.06 plays 1:25.07, so almost nothing in it, just the touchpads separating them. And now I feel that Taylor has got the lead as he turns over first and coming down to the halfway mark. And interestingly, both breathing to the left. I give the advantage to Phillips in that case, as he'll get across and get that motivation to get himself in front in that final 25, but only halfway there now.
We spoke about how important the skills are at this event, and it looks like Flynn Phillips might have the upper hand on the turns, but Kyle Taylor really trying to make a move on the swimming part of this race, and it looks to be moving out in front now. Might have thought that Flynn Phillips, being from Surrey Park, might have the home ground advantage here, but looks to be the man from Rocky City who's moving through.
There is absolutely nothing in it between these two. We're talking about 0.36 of a second between Kyle Taylor in the middle of your screen, lane 4, Flynn Phillips out in lane number 6, currently in second, and that margin just seems to be increasing a little bit more now. And I say that it's only gone out to half a second, but it's still just getting a little bit larger each lap.
Oh, there's battles across the pool, obviously, for that first place. First and second is looking good, but the battle for third looking strong as well. Lane 5, Williams, up against Theodore out in lane 1. Theodore just coming back a little bit, and Williams coming up, but with only 75 metres to swim. It's still a very tight battle, and only about 0.3, about a third of a second separating first and second.
Flynn Phillips on the comeback. He's brought 0.2 of a second out of that time from a couple of laps ago, and they hit the wall now. 24.76 to 24.84, 0.08 of a second separating these two in the last 50 metres.
And look at this. I love watching these races. They're so close the whole way. Usually you see someone drop off here and there, but it's going to come down to the last 25 metres of this heat.
And this is why I said Phillips had the advantage. He can look across and see, and that'll give him motivation. It's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, that's it.
Phillips might have just got to the lead. Taylor swimming it out as they've got about 3 metres to go. Who touches first? Wow, it is Phillips. A 3:54.01 to a 3:54.22.
Potentially Phillips with a disqualification, so we'll wait to see what that was. So that hands the heat win to Taylor in lane 4. So not sure what that would be for at this stage. In a freestyle event, there's not a lot of technical aspects to get wrong. The only thing I can think was a move on the block before, which is pretty unfortunate in a 400 free, but we see the times up on the board. Taylor there first, and Williams second.
Yep. And Tyler Theodore taking third place. So out of the event there, Flynn Phillips.
It was a bit of a long hold on the start there. Potentially the starters might have seen something, but they'll potentially have an opportunity to contest that if they feel necessary.
Real shame for Phillips, a really big personal time, about a 5-second personal best time, and you know, it may have, if he did move before the blocks, it's going to be a fraction of a second, so a fraction of a second difference.
So 3:54 for Kyle Taylor is a good time. Heat 3 on the blocks now.
Take your marks.
Starter sends them away. Matthew Moran out in 2. Lachlan Washington in 3. Alexander Clarence in 4. Oscar Campbell in 5. Liam Paulson in 6. And Toby Sutton in lane 7.
Yeah, heat 2 of this 400. I got a vested interest, not that I'm putting money on, but I, along with Matt Belgiovane, coach Liam Paulson there in lane 6. So I'll be keeping an eye on how he goes as he turns third, 27.47. First through Washington though, 27.25. So very little between the rest of the field. We saw the boys in that first heat, second technically, but first heat from this morning's racing. Just break themselves out, didn't we, Alex, in that first sort of 75? But all the boys trying to stay close in this second heat this morning.
Yeah, absolutely, and this one looks to be a very tight race, so potentially all have the same tactics, whether they want to go out hard and try and hold on through the middle part of the race. But Matt, with the swimmer out in lane 6, what's the tactic going to this race?
Oh, look, Liam's done a lot of work. He's really good at holding on. So hopefully this he'll be dragged out by these boys and then can come home strong at the end. But it's often the danger in these sort of races, isn't it, that if they are all together, is it that they're all together because they're going fast, or is it they're all together because they're, you know, edging off each other and actually ending up going slow? And sometimes it's a good bet to try and get yourself away from that, you know, big surge of swimmers. As they turn at the 150 and coming down to a 175 metre mark.
Campbell doing it nicely at the moment.
Yeah, very little between the top 3, and they'll be pushing as hard as they possibly can. Can't swim before the final tonight. It's a time final, but their times from this morning will be ranked against the swims from tonight. So, as we said, it's still possible to get a medal, still possible to push yourself inside that national top 10 mark with the time fast enough. And the boys at the front, Campbell and Clarence, just working together to get themselves out in front of the rest of the field. Clarence with a marginal lead.
No seed times under the 4-minute mark in this heat. So that magical 4-minute barrier, that's always the one you want to crack in a 400. They're going to try and get under that, and they're looking pretty strong. Holding those 30 points, 31s.
Yeah, they've 2:29 there, so we'll be looking for a mark underneath the 3 minutes, obviously. I think they'll be right on it. I think they'll be bang on that 3 minutes, but you know that they're going to come home hard. So even if they're slightly over the 3, it's still a big chance to get in there.
Clarence has taken the lead now by a body length. Oscar Campbell hanging in there in second place, but Washington out in lane number 3. Also putting in some big strokes as well.
So we can see that time 3:00 for Clarence. He's pushed away and he's just on that mark to get under the 4 minutes. So you could almost use him as the marker. That is a 4-minute barrier. If you can get in front of Clarence, you pretty much got there. And it is pretty much a tie for third, though. Washington, Campbell and Paulson all turning within half a second of each other. So big battle for second, and this will be a very interesting last 50 as they come down now to turn at the 350-metre mark.
Alexander Clarence doing it nicely now, about 2 lengths in front. Washington in second and tight for third between Campbell and Paulson. They'll fight it out over the final 25. But Clarence turns with a nice margin, 2.38 seconds to Washington. And then Paulson and Campbell. Campbell on the inside. Paulson in lane 6, might just get there. He did. Nothing in it, 600ths of a second for third, but a good win to Alexander Clarence out there in lane number 4.
So they paced it well. I almost feel like that first 100, they potentially were just watching them each other a bit too much rather than getting themselves out there. We saw the break at about the 200, 300-metre mark, but feel that first 100 is, you know, where it was going to be won or lost, and agonisingly close there for Clarence, 400.37.
Yeah, he just flicked his switch there at about the 300-metre mark. And he took off, and the rest of the field probably stuck watching each other a little bit. Somebody was waiting for someone to break ahead, and it was Clarence. But you're right, Matt, I think they might have just been taking a little bit easy on the first 100 and probably could have pushed a little bit harder.
Clarence from Washington and Paulson, our top 3 in the men's 400-metre freestyle heat number 3.
Well, we go from some of the longest races, and we've had plenty of heats of the 400 to the shortest. We go now to event 5, the women's 50 backstroke, coming up after the break. We can see the swimmers there in the marshalling room. So plenty of action to come. Stay with us here on 9 Now. We are watching the 2025 Australian Shortcourse Championships here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. I hope you're enjoying the coverage on 9 Now. We'll be back very soon.
Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. It is the 2025 Australian Shortcourse Championships, day 1 of 3 heats this morning, and later on this evening we'll have finals. We've got the 400s out the way.
Is that your lounge room, Tony? All
yes,
that artwork?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. All the way out in Altona North. Probably one of the nicest places around. Women's Open 50-metre backstroke in the pool and ready to go.
Take your marks.
Australian record holder Kayla McEwen, 25.40. The world record, 23.25. And the fastest qualifier, our visitor from Japan in lane 4, and she is out very fast in that first 25. Hits the wall quick in a 13.1. I love getting the 25 splits, especially in a 50. And it is Mizuki Hirari, our visitor, who looks strong down to the wall. And Olawini in for second for my eyes, 27.25. So Samira, our oath reader at the start of the coverage today, coming in with the fastest time for an Australian.
Yep, PB as well, or under the entry time. So really good swim there. That second 25 just took off.
So fastest 10 will go through to the final tonight. The top 3 heats for this 50 backstroke are seeded. So our fastest swimmer got lane 4. Second fastest swimmer will be Mackenzie Burns in our second heat. coming up now. You see our swimmers just moving away from the wall so the second heat can get up, called swimming over the top, just to save time. And while they're swimming, they'll get out of the water. Second heat now on the wall, ready to go.
Women's 50-metre backstroke. And away in swimming in this one. Fastest swimmer out there in lane number 4 is Mackenzie Burns, and she gets up and gets going straight away. Mackenzie Burns in the first 25 metres will turn in front. A good time, 13:31 for her.
Out of St Andrews as well, and look at that underwater. That is coached by Ash Delaney, a former Australian backstroker, so you can be assured they're doing a lot of underwater work. It's a fantastic swim there for first place for Burns.
Yeah, Mackenzie Burns taking first place. Second, they're going to Elizabeth Gann and Sarah Bennett in third place. Our top 3 times from heat number 2.
Yeah, that underwater work really got her the win, didn't it? That was dominant on the first 15, but the second 15 was huge. I almost think she felt like she forgot to come up. She was there so much longer than everyone else. And it's what you got to do in a 50, though. 30 metres of it underwater. So a lot of your training's got to be that controlling your breath, managing your energy through your kick, and being dynamic. As we see the third heat just waiting for their chance to jump in the water. A replacement of a, we can see a nice close-up there of the backstroke ledge.
Our fastest time here at 27:17 in heat 3 belongs to Sengwan Kim from the Korea Club. Confirmation there of our heat 2 times. Mackenzie Burns the fastest. Swimmers in the pool. Heat 3 about to kick off.
15 years old here, Kim, a rising star of the sport. Just fixing her backstroke ledge. It's the thing with these backstroke ledges, they can be a little bit temperamental.
Very particular, these backstrokers, aren't they?
Are you saying something? Also, look at the guide, also 15 from the Melbourne Swim Club. The sister, I'm assuming, Zahara Olawini, also 15 years of age. So we'll see how she goes there in lane 3. Abby Kearney from Nunawading in lane 5.
Set for a start.
Take your marks.
Heat 3. Women's 50-metre backstroke. And in the pool and swimming. And coming up out of the water first is out in lane at number 2, actually. Eva Potts got a great start, but back here is Kim in lane 4, and she turns fast.
Yeah, very, held a long time, I felt, on that start, but really dominant underwater was our visitor, and even more so in that second 25.
Sengwan Kim heads to the wall in first place, at a time of 27:26. Second, back in lane number 3, Olawini
Please move down the lane.
in lane 3.
See on the start as well, they're lifting themselves so high out of the water. Can you run us through the mindset of that, Matt?
Yeah, look, it's a funny one, and you know, I don't want to do that in my day, but we did have wedges when I was swimming. It does allow you to come up a lot higher. Obviously, having that that extra grip, that extra sort of 3-dimensional shape off the wall rather than a flat wall, does allow you to come up a lot higher. Being clear of the water means you don't have to push your way through the water, so it is quicker. But you know, in the 50, I guess it's not going to be too bad. But you know, in a 200, you lift yourself that high. Is that muscle fatigue going to hit you in that last 50? I just can't imagine there's no detriment to holding yourself up that high, especially for extended time, as we saw. So we'll see how long they do it. And we'll often see the backstrokers come up late. So watch them come up here, see if someone comes up late. They're all pretty good.
Nicole Briscoe in lane 4.
But we did get a stand down. So if they don't all come up at a reasonable time, the starter will get them to go again. So I've got to do it twice.
Nicole Briscoe from Geelong
Take your marks.
in lane 4. The one we'll be keeping our eye on. A little bit off the wall, just a bit slower compared to the rest. Let's see how they come out of the water. And it's out in lane number 7. Julia Jeffers doing well, with also Heather Nailey in 2 as they touch and turn. And Bailey out here in lane 6, Olivia Bailey, our leader at the moment.
Now, Alex, I'm not sure if you've been taking score of the times, but you've got to think a 28 or thereabouts will get you into the final. So just outside of that, first place Bailey, 29.12. You called it, Tony.
Yep, and we've got that A and B final tonight as well. So top 20 swimmers get the chance to come back and test themselves again.
Only the top 10, though, for the medal, for a chance at that gold, silver, bronze. We've seen plenty of times where the B final goes faster because they're frustrated with their heat swim. So it is important to get into that top 10, though.
There's our results from heat number 4. Olivia Bailey with the fastest time. As we move into heat number 5, here are the 50-metre women's backstroke. And in lane 4, Sarah Cooper from Fairbank.
Another local squad out at Fairbank, so really good Victorian representation here at this meet, obviously being close by. Used to the weather though as well, so could prove to be an advantage.
Take your marks.
Starter sets them and away they go. She did get a good start in lane 4, Sarah Cooper. Didn't get out of the water that quickly though. Even out here in lane number 9, Hunter-led Britain is up there with them, but their leader after 25 metres, Alana Torrance.
Yeah, really strong start there, and there was the underwater that really separated her off the gun, and it looks to be off the wall as well. So there's going to be a very good swim here.
Yeah, great swim from Alana Torrance from Nunawading. Not known for her sprint backstroke, but very well known for her underwater work, and that's what got her to a 28.15. That's going to be in the mix for that final tonight, based on the times we saw before. We'll have to wait to see confirmation. All up 8 heats this morning, and that was heat 5. So 3 more heats, 6, 7, and 8.
Torrance from Jones and Roberts, our top 3 times from heat number 5 as we head into heat number 6. And our fastest time will come from lane 4 again, Lucinda Jones, this time from Southport. Will be feeling the cold.
Take your marks.
And away they go. 15 metres underwater before they need to get themselves up and out in lane number 0, Audrey Carroll. A good start for her, but back in lane number 5 now, Casey Curtis. Looks like she might have the fastest time. She does a 14.41 on the turn.
Yeah, coming from that St Peters squad in Queensland. Really strong in the skills up there. A lot of really talented swimmers.
And
Great
Curtis
finish here.
takes first. Second going to Melissa Sharp. And third, Claudia Williams.
Please move down the main road.
Look at that, under the 30-point mark for the first time. So, really good barrier.
Yeah, very strong swim there.
29.07 though, probably won't find her in the final.
It'd be a 100 for the B final, as Alex said before. The top 10 into the A and the next 10 into that B final. So might get a night swim tonight, and that's what they're pushing for. As we said before, PBs, personal best times, season best times, and a chance to have a night swim. 8 heats in total. We've got heat 7 now in the water.
Sorry, Matt, but if you need to practice for a night swim, I think you've got it right now. It's dark, isn't it, at the moment?
It's getting that way. It's middle of the
your
day.
marks.
Under starters' orders, heat 7. Mia Huang, our 13-year-old, here in lane 4 is the one to watch. She's currently in about 3rd or 4th at the moment, because on her inside, Amelia Kennedy in lane 3. Looked like she got out the fastest, but it's Sutton Fong in lane 1. 14.68, Kennedy second with a 14.76.
It's the top of your screen looking for the 1, 2, 3, and we often see this in the outside heats. Not a lot separating them going in and very little separating them on the way out too. And it is Fong Sutton from in lane 1. So outside smoker, we love an outside smoker getting under that 30-second barrier along with her Amelia Kennedy with a 29.83.
Out from Bendigo there. Really good representation from the country Victorians. Love to see it. Really good PB.
And on pool deck there, Kendrick Monk, coach of Amelia Kennedy at Caulfield there. So giving his swimmer a thumbs up for a nice job as we go into the final
Take your
heat.
marks.
3 swimmers in this. Holly Barrett in 3, Madison Cooper in 4, and Madison Shantler in lane 5.
Holly Barrett out very fast. Now, Holly was an Australian Dolphin. She's just had a baby and she's come back into the pool. So expect her to be quick. Might not have the fastest entry time.
Yeah, I saw her name there and thought, I wonder if this is a bit of a smoker. And coming down, she's going to get under 30. Only just 29.77, so that's not a bad 50 back, especially from the final heat.
37 years of age, Holly Barrett. So good to see her still swimming well.
Great 50 butterfly, 50 free. Very strong sprinter. So results for the final heat, heat 8 of the women's open 50 metres backstroke. And we wait for final confirmation of our top 10. So we see about a 28.6 was the time to make it through in the top 20.
Great crowd has come out here today to watch the swimming. And we move into our next event, which is event 6, the men's open 200 metre backstroke.
That world record there, 145.63. Remember when Mitch did that, Mitch Larkin? He actually did it right before our 200 free race, and I think he would have placed 4th or 5th in that race.
That is a fast time, I'm not going to lie. That is a really fast time, 1:45. There's not a lot of swimmers who can do that for freestyle, so doing that for backstroke is exceptionally fast.
What was your 100 PB?
My 200 was a 1:51, and at the time it was a world record.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
6 seconds faster. That's, yeah, humbling.
Take your marks.
Heat 1 of 5, 200 metre backstroke for men. Liam Paulson in lane 0 from Camberwell Grammar. Joshua Cairns from Nuttawading in lane 1. Clancy Luscombe in lane 2 from Marion. Samuel Higgs in lane 3 from Warringah. Jolie in lane 4 from Korea. Lane 5 is Blair McKittrick from Nudgee College. Solomon Freeman from 6 in Cronulla. Jonathan Nam in 7, Warringah. Stefan Jansen in 8 from Nudgee College. And in lane 9, Oliver Callio from Ballarat.
Yeah, Lee definitely got the best of the start as they settle into their stroke. So a visitor in lane 4 from the Korean club, taken through 75 metre mark. With not the best start, I have to admit. Jonathan Nam in lane 7. He's starting to try and come back at them now, but lost a lot of distance in that first 25, and with another 7 laps to go, it's not the place you want to be. But the 100 metre mark turned into 56.6 is Lee. So quick time, couple of seconds ahead of the rest of the field, but coming through strong now in lane 2 is Clancy Luscombe from Marion in South Australia.
75 to go, Alex, and Lee doing it very nicely at the moment.
It just looks so easy. I'm looking at, we were talking about the stroke rates before. I'd love to get a stroke rate on that.
I'll get one for you just because you asked, but I can tell you now it's going to be in the teens.
Which means the amount of power he must be having his pull and his kick.
Yeah.
That's what makes it look so easy.
The timing is just going to be bang on. Yeah, he's rating 30 strokes per minute, so he's probably 25% down on what you'd like to see. So plenty left for the final tonight, and that's what they're all racing for. Their top 10 making it through for the final. As he comes down a touch in a very comfortable 155.1.
Great battle for second there, out in lanes 2 and 3.
So Jolie in lane 4. Fastest time for him. So we'll wait our final swimmers to come home. That is heat 1, done and dusted of the 200 backstroke for men.
Solid hit out from heat number 1. We expect Juho Lee to pick up the rate a notch tonight, but it'll be interesting to watch the clock and see who else is in that final.
Well, the upside, he doesn't need to do a cool down now because he's already done it in that race. That last 50 to 75 was very, very cruisy, and there's nothing more daunting than just being in the second heat, seeing someone do a super easy 155 and thinking, I got to go 155 and do it that easy. That's really tough. So that's exactly what Matthew Magnuson will be looking at from St Peter's Western. 21-year-old has a PB or entry time at least of 154.5. So he's right in there. In fact, Lee's personal best coming in before 153. So he's only a couple of seconds off that. So you'd have to think he's in pretty good form at this stage.
Swimmers are on pool deck for heat number 2 of 5. Men's open 200-metre backstroke.
Top 3 heats are seeded, so fastest swimmer in lane 4 of each of the 3 first heats, and so top 30 swimmers in the first 3 heats, and then next 10 in heat 4 and subsequent swimmers in heat 5. As after a mini delay, we're in the water for heat 2.
Australian title on the line for tonight. So Magnuson here looking to
Stand down, swimmers.
get a good solid hit out this morning, qualify for that final, because
Time to stand down.
we have a little bit of...
So lane 7 just having a bit of an issue with that backstroke ledge as they quickly come in to replace, and we'll get underway very, very soon.
See the lads jumping up and down, trying to keep that warmth.
Pool will be about, I'd guess, about 26, 25 high, 26 low degrees. So it's not warm. It keeps you fresh for the race, but anything warmer than that, especially for the distance races, it just gets oppressive.
It's warmer than the ambient temperature, I can tell you that, which is around about 10 or 11 degrees at the moment. Set for start. And away they go. Matthew Magnuson in 4. Comes out nicely to just in front, a stroke or so in front of lane number 5, Will Sharp from Nunawading. 25 down to Magnuson and Sharp first and second. Puccini in 3rd.
Yeah, Sharp looking exactly that. Very sharp in this first 50. I've got to say, Matthew Magnuson probably had the better start, but really settled into his stroke almost from the second stroke he took. Sharp definitely rating that little bit higher, and now starting to settle down. Magnuson coming back at him, so really good battle out there for first. Riccini looking good in 3rd, Bryant in 4th. 5th is our visitor out in lane 8, Murakami. So very tight across the field, but Magnuson now just starting to stamp his authority at the 100-metre mark. 55.81. And really looking strong in this 3rd 50.
So Matthew Magnuson, lane 4, currently our leader after 125, a 1:10.01. Just behind him, Will Sharp at a 1:11.6. So 1.5 seconds separating first and second, and about the same distance between second and third. Cameron Cheney out there in lane number 3.
Magnuson looking good, Alex. Such huge oars, you got to say. The paddles, massive arms, that beautiful looking stroke, timing looking good, and he's keeping that pace up with 25 metres to go.
Absolutely, head nice and still. See a nice splash from his legs there. And it almost looked like he's descended this race. Maybe that was the stroke rate, and he's picked it up again. So really well executed race plan. As Will Sharp making a move here late as well.
Well, he wasn't worried about that 155. He's gone to 153 and did it easily. And I think you're right, he built that very well. Every 25 just a little bit quicker than the last.
Great effort there by Matthew Magnuson from St Peter's Western, 21-year-old. Fastest swimmer in the pool in heat number 2. Ahead of Will Sharp and Cameron Riccini. Looks pretty happy with himself too, so he should be.
Yep, some solid times from that race this morning. Everyone pretty much under their entry time, the top 3. So really heating up.
Matthew Magnuson nearly 2 seconds quicker than Jolie.
It'll be a really cracking race.
Yeah.
Joe Lee really looked like he was going at 50%, but
Heat 3 of our 5 heats here in the men's open 200 backstroke.
Take your marks. Stand down, swimmers.
Yeah, lane 2, I reckon it was. Sebastian King just had a bit of a slip as he went up. Starters obviously seen that. giving him the benefit of the doubt.
So toes must be on the wall. In fact, one part of the foot must be on the wall.
Got on better that time. Heat 3. Thomas Hewitt in lane 4 is where we'll be keeping our eye on. Also James Biddington in 5. Hayuk there in lane 4, taking the early lead, half a body length now in front as they head up to complete 50 metres.
Yeah, Hawke looking very controlled at that 50-metre mark. Takes him through in a 27.35. Better part of half a second, a bit over half a second, in fact, on the rest of the field, and very controlled through his stroke. So he's looking good. He's seen the previous heat. He saw Magnussen with that 153 in heat 2, and he is third fastest qualifier. So his time of 155 coming into this, Thomas Hawke, and takes him down to the 100-metre mark. He turns in a 57.15. So a little bit outside what we saw Magnussen, but Magnussen also built it. So he started off a little bit controlled. So that's a bit ominous for tonight's final. But Hawke well and truly in the lead in this third heat.
Yeah, he certainly is ahead of King, Sebastian King, out there in lane number 2, currently second. Third place is Noah Pronk in lane 3.
Looks to really be working these turns as well, the Tomahawk. He's bringing those legs in. And we mentioned Magnussen from the previous heat picking up the pace towards the end of the race, and I can see Hawke trying to do that now, as is the rest of the field trying to catch him.
So Thomas Hawke from All Saints out in lane 4, doing it nicely. That's a decisive win for him in this heat. Second and third, King out there in lane 2, Sebastian King second. Third place, Xavier Purcell. But the time of 1:56 for Thomas Hawke.
So top 10 through to the final. You'd have to think you'd have to be under that 2-minute mark. Third there's a 1:59.75. So top 10 will swim out the final. Still got a couple of heats to go though, so it's still anyone's game. Still a little bit taken back by that world record. It's not a typo, is it? 1:45.
No, I saw it live, and I was racing the 200 free after that race.
Did you go faster with the 200 free?
I don't think I did that race.
That is remarkable.
He would have got third or fourth in the 200 free.
Wow.
Heat 4 of 5 in the men's 200 backstroke. And out there in lane number 2, a great start, Jet Burke flew off the blocks.
Like a jet, you might say, in lane 2. He really did make the most of that 15, and he's capitalised on that in that first 50 now. And he'll take them through. Also looking good is lane 9, but really a blanket across the rest of the field if you take Jet out. So Burke takes them through 28.18 at the 50-metre mark, and he's looking strong.
You're right, Kieran Lee's out here in lane number 9, turned in second place. Let's see how they fare after another 25. It's still Burke in front. Out in lane 2, Lee still in second place. And now putting in some big ones, Ethan McDonald in lane 3.
Yeah, different tactics going on here. Going out really hard there, Jet Burke. He seems to be just taking it a little bit easier in this middle 100. Trying to maybe save some energy. Yeah, then later in the race, we'll see people pick it up. But look out in lane 0 from Nunawading. Another home ground advantage. Owen Williams, Polly making a move.
Yeah, these outside lanes. So second and third in this race are lane 0 and 9. Lane 2 is leading them. And he's looking very strong. That third 50, all-important third 50 in a 200 is really what's usually separates the field. But Jet got himself in front, and with about 35 metres to swim. I don't think he's going to be headed, but the battle for second is going to be between lane 0, lane 9, and even lane 5 in the middle. So Nolter, Williams, Polly, and Lees will be battling it out for second.
Jet Burke, though, the man in front, out there in lane 0. I reckon Owen Williams Polly might have got himself into second. Kieran Lee's out in 9, fighting hard. Burke takes the win. Williams Polly second, Lee's third.
Great PB there from Jet Burke. 5 seconds taken off, so you should be absolutely pumped with that. You love to see people take the race out hard and hold on. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way, especially in the backstroke events when your legs start to fatigue and you've got 7 push-offs, 8 push-offs.
Yeah, he very appropriately, as he said, took off in that first 50, and they just couldn't match him after that. 2:01 is a very quick time. It's going to be just outside that top 10, I just feel. I feel enough of the swimmers went under 2 minutes, and if they didn't, there was plenty on 2:00. So very big PB, but it's going to take a little bit more. Final heat now of the men's 200 backstroke.
And in lane 4, Campbell Mills, seated fastest. But it's out again on the outside lanes, lane 0 and lane 9, Indiana Phillips in lane 0, and Aidan Ramos, a visitor who's training at Nunawading, out in lane 9. Lanyon also in 8, in 7, Jack Lanyon.
Yeah, he looks to be going very hard, Jack Lanyon.
Yeah, I don't know if you can maintain this the whole way. 27.7 is quicker than the previous heat. And but what we do like to see is people making the most of these opportunities. And it's exactly what these heats are about. Setting yourself up, learning something new, racing under pressure, and giving yourself the best chance to get up for a night swim. He's looking pretty good coming up to the halfway mark. He's somehow managed to get about a body length or more lead in 150 metres. Can he maintain this speed? He's going to turn at about a 58.94, so well under the minute mark.
We've had the battle out there for second and third out lanes 1, 2 and 3. Or 0, 1 and 2 I should say. In Phillips, O'Neill and Davis.
So we are in an outdoor pool, but there is a roof over the top. So the swimmers, the backstroke swimmers, will be able to guide themselves a little bit on that roof. But it is always that little bit harder in the outdoor pool to guide yourself, as you see a few of the swimmers moving over towards the lane ropes. With 50 to go though, Jack Lanyon just starting to be pulled back in by the rest of the field. He's still got the lead, but he'll also have a lot of lactate in those legs.
Lanes 1 and 2, and also out here in lane number 5 in William McCavaney. Swimming a nice race. He might even touch in the top 3, McCavaney. He's actually touched in front out in lane 5. So coming home nicely. He's got out there in lane number 1, William O'Neill as an issue. Also hanging in there is Jack Lanyon. He's still staying close to the top.
Yep. It's going to be
O'Neill takes it.
O'Neill from Rackley up in Queensland. He's going to take this heat. Well paced. Different tactics again. Love talking about the tactics of these races, especially in short course, because you can tend to get out fast, and there may be a little bit of nervous energy involved as well when you're trying to get your PB and this is the meet that you've been going for. So it's interesting to see how they attack each race, the strategy involved.
So top 10, it does look like the top 10 need to get underneath that 2-minute mark. The 11th time, the first time over the 2:00 mark. So all the swimmers 159 and below will be in that A final for tonight. As we see the crowd enjoying all the action here at the Melbourne Sports Aquatic Centre for the 2025 Australian Short Course Championships. We move to event 7. We just have 2 heats of the women's multi-class 100 metres breaststroke, and some similar names we saw before from the 400. We have Nolene Ponto again, Imogen Bailey, the fastest qualifier, and again separated into this multi-class. Swimmers from SB for the breaststroke, 15, S19, S9, S13. So plenty of categories here for this multi-class 100 breaststroke, as heat 1 is on the blocks.
See Nolene Ponto out in lane 3. Second event of the morning.
Off and racing in the 100 breaststroke for the women's multi-class. First of 2 heats, and into that big pull-through split stroke and down to the wall first. Nolan takes them through in a 16.10. So we talked about that home ground advantage, and an Nunawading swimmer making the most of understanding these walls and the centre here in Melbourne. But right on her shoulders is our visitor from Japan, Kobu, and Nolene Ponto from Auburn, second and third respectively. 35.44 at the halfway mark, and now into the second 50 of this breaststroke. Top 10 through to the final, just the 2 heats. So just a strong swim, don't have to go too crazy this morning. We'll make it through to the final.
Yeah, they're getting some really good race practice against each other here. Keeping it very tight. And look at that, who's going to have the better turn? We talk about skills in short course. We'll mention it a fair bit over the next few sessions. Who can finish on the wall in a full stroke?
Well, I think it's going to be our visitor. Does she get there? No, it is Ponto. Just gets there by 0.08 of a second, or 0.12 rather of a second. So S19, as the top 10 point scores will go through, and it does look like our visitor 799 at this early stage and 797 from Nolan, both S15 swimmers. S19 for Ponto. So we'll wait for confirmation of times, confirmation of points. And they're here on your screen now, and it does look like it's just under 800 points. Both Kobu and Nolan with a good haul of points, and Hogan 757. So we know you're going to need to be above that sort of 500 mark to make the final for tonight, as our next 3 swimmers for Heat 2 come up. Lexi Phillips, Gemma Selleck and Ruby Halliday. Halliday, 25-year-old from MLC Aquatic. Gemma Selleck, 15 from Warringah. And Phillips, 17 from Hunter, in the water for the second heat. And we saw a real battle for the lead in the first heat. Already now the different categories starting to separate themselves. Gemma Selleck looking pretty strong at the 25-metre mark. Of course, the time is important, but the point score is what will separate them at the end of the day. We saw about a 500 points middle ground in that previous heat, so about 800 for the top, but 500 points should get you into that final for tonight, and that's what they'll be racing for. So the 15-year-old in lane 4, Gemma Selleck, at the halfway mark. She touches the wall and turns in a 42.66. Closely followed by Halliday, 45.69. Phillips now just coming up to the wall at that halfway mark and touches in a 54.41. So point score is what it's all about, and Selleck is going to have to push herself away to get away from the these S7 swimmers.
Halliday making a late push here, but they're all looking very strong. Nice and long strokes.
See that wind blowing in, Alex.
Yeah, give him a little push. Here we go.
So 10 metres to go as they come down for the final heat of the multi-class 100 metres breaststroke women's event. Top 10 point scorers through to the final tonight, as Gemma Selleck from Warringah touches the wall in a 132.60. Mid 500 points at this stage. Halliday touches in a 138 from an S7 category, 690 points, as you can see on your screen. And with a metre to go, Phillips touches in a waiting for final confirmation of that time. We'll get that one to you, but we'll compare all those times with the previous heat. Top 10 through to the final as we move now to event 8. The men's multi-class 100 metres breaststroke. There was one heat of this morning, so almost guaranteed to get a final for tonight.
Yeah, top 10 for sure.
Unless you get disqualified, but let's not go there. So just got to make it through, and running the heats because it's good experience for them and it's in the program. So they'll get just that extra bit of time in the water. So fastest
cobwebs or
absolutely,
nice swim.
yeah. And we see the results there from the previous race. So Phillips with a 154.25 it was, with 439 points. Fastest qualifier for this next event, Miles Parfitt, 16-year-old from Northcote with a 114.4. So that's the time he'll be going for.
Off and swimming in our men's multi-class 100-metre breaststroke, and out in lane number 4, Miles Parfitt, doing it nicely. Also in there is Lockie Bellion, Caden Smith up there as well, and Ryan McCrane looking good also. But out in lane number 4 it is Parfitt who had the fastest time after the first 25 metres.
Thomas Voigt in lane 3, and Mingza Pang in lane 2 looking strong as well. 14-year-old from Camberwell Grammar, performed very well at the recent age championships up in Brisbane. And lane 5 and lane 6, Lockie Bellion and Caden Smith locked in battle, and it will be a battle for the S14s with Pang, Voigt, Bellion, Smith, all S14s. Parfitt at S19, so the point score haul I think is going to be better for those swimmers out of 2, 3, 5 and 6.
Pang, Voigt and Parfitt all part of the all finalists in this year's Australian Age Championships, and they've got a good spread of it here as well. And lane 4, Miles Parfitt with the fastest time, Voigt with a 118. Once again, this isn't basically done on time, it's done on time to the world record compared to your classification, and then you receive points for that. And our top points is what we're looking for medals and the like in our finals. 2 swimmers to come.
Yeah, we wait for our final swimmer to touch the wall. All the swimmers should be going through to the final for tonight, so a good chance for our multi-class swimmers to get that heat swim as we say goodbye to the 100 breaststroke events, and we say hello to the 200 butterfly. Women's Open 200 butterfly event 9 is up next, and we've got 2 heats of this event.
So there's our results for that heat. All those swimmers will be going through, as we said, to the final. Let's head off to a break, and when we come back, it is the Women's Open 200-metre butterfly right here live on Wide World of Sports and 9 Now, and from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatics Centre. There's some amazing places to check out if you're ever in Melbourne. The Melbourne Museum, of course, is one of them. So many arts things around the city. Walk down almost any street in the city and it's literally busting off the walls in the form of street art, stencils, paste-ups, murals, and so much more. Melbourne network of galleries showcase everything from major international exhibitions and collections to established and emerging local arts. The National Gallery of Victoria, the NGV, Australia's oldest and largest gallery, is home to an enormous collection of works by international and local artists.
It's a really beautiful city.
It is.
Spent 10 years away, and now that I'm back, it's been an absolute pleasure exploring all the nooks and crannies and the laneways and coffee shops and all the different things that you get in Melbourne.
It's not just good coffee.
Take your marks.
It's much more, Melbourne. Women's Open 200 metre butterfly. We've got a couple of heats of this. This is heat number 1. And out in lane number 4, Lucy Dring from the USC Spartans comes in with the fastest time of a 2:07.86.
Yeah, looking strong off those walls and that underwater. Now, Dring recently won the Queensland Shortcourse Championship, so looking to convert that into a national title. Could be her first one here, but getting a good solid challenge at the moment out there in lane 2, which is Annalise Matthews.
Yeah, sticking right with her at the moment.
14 years old. So one of the future stars of the sport, potentially. But it is Lucy Dring coming off the wall, looking pretty strong.
When you look at Annalise Matthews' seed time compared to Lucy Dring, there's a 10-second gap between the two. But you wouldn't think that at the moment.
No, absolutely not. And can be a thing when you're young. You tend to drop a lot of time fairly quickly, and as you get a bit older, you're scraping extremely hard for those 0.1s and 0.2s off your PB, but both ladies putting in a solid swim here, and Clara Carochi in lane 5 starting to move through as well.
So Lucy Dring off the wall at 1:20.32 ahead of Annalise Matthews in lane 2. Lucy Dring stays in the water a lot longer than all the other competitors.
Yep, could be just the way her stroke feels as well. It's all about rhythm in the butterfly. She could be potentially saving some energy. She looks to pick it up a little bit now by the looks of it.
2 body lengths in front. Coming nicely is Clara Carochi in lane number 5, putting up a bit of an attack on Annalise Matthews in lane 2 for second. But it's Lucy Dring out in front and doing it nicely at the moment as she touches first in a 2:13.76. This will be tied for second.
Yep.
Carochi just got it, 0.09 of a second ahead of Matthews in lane 2.
So yeah, going a little bit easy potentially this morning, Lucy. Just as you mentioned, her stroke was nice and long, spending a bit more time in the water there as everyone's kind of scraping for those final spots tonight. But it was a strong swim in the end. And the 14-year-old Annalise Matthews faded to third. You could say there'd be a little bit of nervous energy coming up and racing in the opens. It's quite different to when you're racing age groups.
Take your marks.
There you go. Coming out of lane number 4 from Caulfield.
Ripping start.
And she was got up and away she went. Half a body length in front on the first turn. 25 down and Yo. Only down to 13.3, so a good start for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And the field looks kind of even as we head through the first 50 metres. But Yo looking very comfortable. A beautiful stroke. Staying nice and high in the water. Working these underwaters. I'm going to harp on about these underwaters and the turns this week, because this is what short course swimming is about. It's about your skills, how you can maximise those. But Yo looking very comfortable.
Naima Hingley out in lane 0, putting up a good battle. She's currently in that battle for second and third. Amber Clark in lane 3 also up there, as is Mackenzie White.
Yeah, Yo coming out of that Caulfield Aquatics Club here in Victoria. So we are talking about that home ground advantage, but that's a squad that's getting better and better. Got a lot of young age groupers who are swimming extremely fast, and Mia Yo just coming out of those age group rankings now as a 19-year-old. So really testing herself in the open pool.
2:11.45, the best time for Mia Yo. If she can get down around there in this championship, she'll be looking very good for a medal, possibly even a gold.
Absolutely, they've just headed into the last turn at the 150 metre mark. One more turn to go, being short course. It looks like Amber Clark making a late push here. But the lady's looking very strong in the water. It's all about that final turn. The legs are going to be burning. But what have you got left? 25 metres to go.
Amber Clark won't catch her, I don't think, but she's put in a good swim to finish second. But Mia Yo doing well. She hits the wall in a time of 2:14.05, so just a bit slower than Lucy Dring in the first heat.
Yeah, you should think that would be enough to get back tonight. Hit the reset button in between, have a nice cool down, and try and attack that personal best of hers this evening.
Final results will come up in just a tick, but Mia Yo at 2:14.05 gives her the win in heat number 2, ahead of Amber Clark and Mackenzie White at 2:17.87, our top 3. Top 10 times to go through to tonight's final.
2:20.04, 2:20.2 coming in at 11. So very tight there for the top 10. But not sure if there'll be a B final for this one. I think so, with 20 competitors.
Time now for the men's 100 metre butterfly.
Yeah, our first look at Maddie Temple here. He's a two-time Olympian. Was based out of Victoria. Went and made the switch to Adelaide. Trained with his good mate Kyle Chalmers.
Australian record holder with a time of 48.62. Here's Maddie Temple. Did that a couple of years ago.
It's a swift time.
It is a swift time.
Take your marks.
And away they go. 4 laps of the 25 metre pool makes up the men's 100 metre butterfly, and in lane 4, that's where all eyes are on Matt Temple. Hits the wall first with a 10.9, the only swimmer in the 10s. Getting his competition out in lane number 6.
See a bit more splash from the lads in this first heat, trying to qualify for that final. The waves are coming up in the pool, but the skills from Temple, he's one of the best underwater swimmers in the country, and his turns as well. So he's fast into the wall, and he'll start working his underwaters here.
Matty Temple now, we wait for him to get out. He's about half a body length out from Dominic Shuey in lane number 6. Then Ewan Smith in lane 5, up there in 3rd at the moment. Temple turns.
In fact, he got in second, so just pipped at the wall by 3/100ths of a second from Helen and Lavelle. But a great swim there from Temple. We were lucky enough at Camberwell, he came out to have a chat with the swimmers, and he talked about his race plan for the 100, and it's pretty much 8 kicks, 5 strokes, and then 8 kicks, 8 strokes, that sort of thing. He just is very much a process-driven athlete, and he stuck to his process and had a very comfortable heat swim. As always, top 10 through to that A final, and next 10 through to the B final. So he's comfortably through for that at this stage.
Lucas Shumanik in lane number 4. Our fastest qualifier in this heat, 52.43.
And out of lane 7, Nick Layton, actually an S15 swimmer, so multi-class swimmer, but swimming an able body and very, very strong. So he's there right up with the mix of swimmers, but it is first to the wall in the middle of the pool. So Hermanik taking through first at the 50, 24.70. That's a pretty swift first 50.
Jackson Gover's out in lane at number 8, providing the pressure in second place. Hermanik now remains in front. About 15 to go. Govers stays in second. Tight though. Nakanishi also in lane 5, coming home well. But the winner, Hermanik. Nakanishi taking second and Govers third. A 52.67 was under the time of our winner in heat 1.
Seemed to drop the hammer that last 15 metres there, put the head down, get your hand on the wall. So Good finishing skills there. 52 is a pretty good time, and it's close to his entry time, so should be pretty happy with that.
Just the 3 heats this morning from this 100 metres butterfly. 3rd heat up on the blocks, ready to go. I was standing behind the blocks when the first heat went off, and the power that they drive off the blocks is very, very impressive, and no wonder they get to that wall. No wonder Matt Temple got to that wall in less than 11 seconds.
The power that they put into the water, though, there's actually a wave that heads out in front of them before they pop out.
And especially in the 50, it's one of the things you've got to sort of think about. You need to do the underwater kicks more so just to avoid that wave on the way back. You don't have that problem in a long course 50, obviously. You're not going back the way you came at all. So it is something to think about in this sprint format, this short course format in those sprint events.
Women's 200 breaststroke coming up next after this heat. Heat 3 of the men's 100 metre butterfly. William Leighton comes into this heat with the fastest time of 52.78. He's out in lane 4.
Straight up and moving is Herriman from Southport.
He was out of the water early, wasn't he?
He was. So we'll see. Maybe his swimming speed is quicker than his underwaters, so you may see that as a tactic, but it looks pretty even out there at the moment. The swimmer in lane 4 starting to move through now.
That's William Leighton, a 24.33 for him. Herriman in second place with a 24.67, so 0.3 separating our top 2 with around about 25 to go now as they touch and turn.
Well, it's working for Herriman. He's coming up much earlier than the other swimmers, but they're not really able to match him. But Leighton really is. His underwaters are very, very strong, and that's got him well and truly out in front. He touches the ball at 52.39. That is a quick time again. So he was our 3rd fastest qualifier coming into this race. And
the fastest time of the day.
Put down the fastest time so far. So he'll be very happy with that. That'll give him lane 4 for tonight's final.
Well done, William Leighton. 52.39, the fastest time of the morning. As our results go up for that heat. And confirmation of that for William Leighton. Herriman, a 53.61, was pretty swift as well. And you can see the rest of the times there.
Should be a good final tonight.
So 54.2 making it through to that A final.
If Leighton can do that again, he's the man to catch, isn't he?
Absolutely, as we move to this 200 metre breaststroke race. Got Tara Kinder here in lane 4. It's somewhat of a breakout 18 months, I would say. She's really progressed with her swimming.
Take your marks.
On the blocks and ready to start. Heat 1 of the women's 200 metre breaststroke. And Tara Kinder, a 2:18.25, the fastest time coming into this meet in lane 4.
Yeah, great skills on that underwater. Had to reach out a little bit for that wall, but still got around neatly. And she will dominate this first 50. She'll expect to dominate this heat as well. She's got well and truly the fastest time coming into this race, about 6 seconds on the rest of the field. Compared to the Commonwealth record of Liesl Jones, 2:15. She's only about 3 seconds off that time, less than 3 seconds off that time. The world record, 2:12.50. So a little bit of ground to make up on that. Very, very elite. But Tara Kinder, world-class swimmer, and now leading them through at the 100 metre mark.
She's the defending champion, Tara Kinder. Of course, was part of the Dolphins, made the Dolphins debut actually this year in Singapore at the World Championships.
Yeah, long course, first long course team, and did read somewhere that she had a bit of a break out of the pool for about 18 months from an age grouper to opens, and has now come back and is really making inroads with her swimming and doing the right things and looking very comfortable in this race. And I guess the benefit of having the fastest entry time by about 6 seconds is maybe you can take the foot off the gas and still make that final. So potentially could be seeing that here. But the other ladies moving through now.
Tara Kinder still our leader though at the 150 metre mark. So 2 laps to go, 1:45.29. Doing it nicely.
Liesl Jones, the only Australian faster. So second fastest Australian ever, Tara Kinder, which is pretty impressive compared to Liesl Jones, who was one of the greats. So 25 metres to go. Tara's really pushed ahead. She's got a great attitude towards training and really takes on the technical strokes, the breaststroke, the IM racing, with a very strong heat zoom of a 2:22.00. We do see on the board, unfortunately, potentially these complicated races, there is a disqualification. So Emily Smith inherits first place. So we'll wait to get a confirmation on that. But so far, Smith in first, King in for second. And Alana Torrance then, as we said, inherits third place from Nunawading.
Oh, that's a major story out of this event, is that our current title holder, Tara Kinder, looks like she's been DQ'd out of the race.
Now, we saw this before in the 400 free, and there's not a lot you can do in the 400 free, but in the breaststroke, there's plenty. There's obviously the start, there's infractions within the turns, there's split stroke infractions, there's a whole bunch of things. How many butterfly kicks? They're only allowed to do one butterfly kick in those split strokes underneath the water. Used to be none. They brought in one. And so people sometimes push for 2, but yeah, plenty of reasons. So we'll wait for confirmation as Heat 2 is now on the block.
Heat 2 of 4, women's 200 metre breaststroke. And they are in the water and swimming and out in lane number 3. Tamsin Wallow, our early leader, but she's being shadowed. Rydell Smith in lane 4, Emily Daunt in lane 5 there as well.
Yeah, nothing splitting them at the moment. Really strong opening 50, but it looks to be Rydell Smith moving through now. That is the sister of Brendan Smith. It's a 2-time Olympian, the Australian Dolphins team out of Victoria. So a famous Victorian swimming family, the Smiths. And
yeah, big family. A lot of Smiths out there, but they've more known for his freestyle. And now into the breaststroke. I'm always amazed and impressed at our 200 metres breaststroke and how much distance they get off that glide, off the kick. And that's the real kicker, so to speak, is that stroke, bring themselves up and then driving themselves forward on that kick as they do kick their way into that 100 metre mark. Only a tenth of a second separating Smith and Daunt. 110.88 plays 110.98. Third through, Tamsin Wallow.
Those 3 have kicked ahead. And as a matter of fact, Smith and Daunt have kicked ahead as well.
Emily Daunt, 15 years of age. So again, another age group are looking to test herself against the open swimmers and doing a very, very good job here this morning.
Well, disappointed to see Tara Kinder out, but it does open the door. Opportunity is now open to not only take out the race tonight, but to extra person to make that final. So they'll see that, realise that, and push that little bit harder, knowing that the opportunity is there. It's exactly what Dawn is doing in 5. She just takes the marginal lead. In fact, Smith somehow touches the wall first in lane 4. So nothing between them. It really will be down to the stroke. Dawn, for my position here, looks to have the better swimmer out of Marion.
Half a length now. She's
really pushed it. So she does it in 2:29.14, ends up about 0.8 of a second ahead of Smith.
Emily Daunt taking that one from Marion, the 15-year-old, in a time of 2:29.14. Nearly a full second ahead of Rydell Smith. And Tamsin Wallow in 3rd in that heats.
Yeah, good morning hit out from the ladies. Again, you're trying to get as close as you can to your entry time and your personal best, knowing that when you get into that final, you can try and change up a couple of things, or maybe you missed time to turn, or your start wasn't the best, and there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So they'll go back and have a chat to their coaches and figure out what to do for tonight's swim.
If you thought Emily Daunt looked young, she is 15 years of age. And a nice win in that heat. As our results go up on the screen now, you can see Emily Daunt, Rydell Smith, Tamzawalo, our top three. That was pretty much the order throughout, apart from Rydell Smith probably holding the lead for 3/4 of the race, and then Emily Daunt just finishing it off in the last 25 metres. Heat 3 on the blocks. Heat 3 of 4. And our fastest time in the middle is Charlotte Hanson, 2:27.5 for her. As the starter gets them off the blocks. Wasn't happy with things.
A few issues this morning. Some starts.
Let's try it this time. Take 2. Heat 3, women's open, 200 metre breaststroke.
Take your marks.
Tara Kinder, the reigning champ, disqualified in heat number 1. So it opens it right up for the rest of the field. And in this case, in lane number 4, Charlotte Hanson was the one to get out of the water first, with a little bit of pressure just to her left and right. Amelia Downey in lane 3 and Maeve McKenna in lane 5. Applying that pressure. Hanson responding though.
So Hanson takes them through at the 50. Third fastest qualifier coming in now. Second fastest qualifier still eligible for that final. Takes them through at that 50, but absolutely nothing between her and McKenna in lane 5. In fact, McKenna potentially slightly in front. In fact, exactly the same time. Even the touchpads couldn't separate them at the 75 metre mark. So now coming up to that halfway mark, it does look like McKenna's just starting to push her way in front, but it's still early days. Still plenty of time for Hanson to make up that gap. Downey right on her shoulder. So the 3 girls in the middle of the pool pushing well ahead of the rest of the field. It will be Eliza Damien in lane 6 who leads the rest, and Camprade in 7 looking strong as well. But McKenna turning with 75 metres to swim with a healthy little margin on Hanson now. So can Hanson turn this over with 75 to go?
Hanson did go out hard, Alex, but has she got anything in reserve?
Yeah, looks that way. McKenna put a bit more of a gap on her that last 25, but seems to be bringing it back in. Different strokes, you'll see McKenna a bit longer. She's starting to pick up her stroke rate now, and Hanson a little bit quicker and shorter on her strokes. So
she wants to catch her, doesn't she? She's going to hit this turn hard.
Charlotte Hanson in 4. Maeve McKenna in 5. They are absolute neck and neck as they head down with around about 10 metres to go. It's Hanson just on the inside, I think, with the lead. McKenna not fading at all, though. She's staying there, and Hanson takes it. McKenna right behind her, just under half a second between our first 2, and Amelia Downey in 3rd place.
Well, we saw Hanson on that 150 mark, the second last turn, to whip herself around and really start to bridge that gap. She may have only taken her in that last 5 metres, but she started at 50 metres prior and really whipped around on that last turn, got even, and then swam away. So really well paced, probably pushed a little harder than she wanted to in that heat swim, but she definitely will be able to go out a little bit more aggressively tonight and make up a bit of that time. So 3rd of our seeded heats, so 3rd of 4 heats swum, and top 10 through to that A final tonight. One more heat to go, heat 4 of the women's 200 metres breaststroke. Results now on the screen, and we can see Hanson getting to the wall first there, just under that 2:28 mark. And we've got to think that there's going to be a lot of swimmers around that 2:32 mark to make that final tonight. So it's going to be tight. But final chance now in heat 4.
Take your marks.
And in and away they go. Final heat, women's 200 breaststroke. And our leaders early on in the outside lanes. Out in lane number 1, Vera Zhang. Turns into 16:07. And next to her, Zandi Shua from the Philippines club.
These non-seeded heats are always so much tighter fought. So the seeded heats, the person right next to you, they might be in the lane next to you, but there's usually another 2 people qualified in between you and them. So it's a bit more spread out, the first 3 heats. But this one, they're all entered with times right next to each other. So often in these races, there's only half a second separating the entire field leading in. And it's the case, only about a second and a half over 200 metres separating these athletes as they come down, turn at that 75 and head towards the halfway mark in this 200 metres breaststroke. Real battle in that outside or relatively outside lane with Zandi Chua, our visitor from the Philippines. She'll be taking them through at that halfway mark. She does in a 1:16.36. Miller Abley from Burnside, 1:16. Bendigo rather, 1:16 at the halfway mark, and White from Nunawading. So Abley, 14 years of age from Bendigo East.
Yeah, you love to see the young age groupers coming into these open meets and testing themselves. It's such a great way to build experience when you can surround yourselves with the older athletes. And you know, these young girls would have been warming up potentially in the same lane as Tara Kinder and watching what she does and her processes, and they can try and bring some of those things into their own preparation for these races.
And now with less than 50 metres to swim. And not only pride on the line and PBs up for takings, but a potential spot for that relay if you can get fast enough. And Chua out in lane 2, visitor, a limit of 2 visitors per final. So she'll be racing for not only a spot, but for 1 of 2 for a visitor. Looking good in lane 7 is Eliza Connolly from DVE Aquatic here in Victoria. She'll touch second, 2:39.15, so a solid about a second, just over a second personal best time for Connolly. And third through was Adele Ha from Lane Cove, 2:40. So final heat swamp in the women's 200 metres breaststroke. And the top 10 swimmers make it through to the finals. We'll see a confirmation of times on your screen from that final heat.
Zandi Chua, 2:37.11, ahead of Eliza Connolly, 2:39.15, and then Adele Ha in 3rd place. As we turn our attention now to the men and our 100-metre breaststroke.
Looked like a 2:32 is the cusp of making that final as we predicted. But now it's the men's turn, as you said, Tone. 100 metres breaststroke. There's 8 heats this morning.
Yeah, it certainly is. James McKechnie, Lachlan Chan, both coming with times under the minute mark, 59s for them. So they'll be the 2 to watch in lanes 4 and 5, but not much between the entire field. Only a couple of seconds separate them in their seeding times.
Now only 4 swimmers underneath the 1 minute mark in this 100 metres breaststroke across the entire field. 2 of them are in this first heat, James McKechnie and Lachlan Chan in lanes 4 and 5. So we anticipate that's where it's going to be the battle, but this early stage, James McKechnie really taking control of this 100 breaststroke.
He looks strong, Jimmy. Those underwaters, almost just seem rocketing through the water and coming up around that 15-metre mark off the start, and now around that 10 mark off the turns. Extremely strong, and he's picking up the stroke rate coming down this 3rd lap here. But the rest of the field looks pretty tight for the minor placings, and there is final spots up for grabs.
Matthew Loeffler, the best of the rest out in lane 1. We love an outside smoker. Also looking good, coming home strong, is William Petrick from St Peters Western, formerly of Nunawading, so a little bit of home ground, but first to the wall will be McKechnie, getting under the minute mark, which is very tidy for a heat swim, 59.48. Second to the wall, 101.71. No, sorry, Petrick was 100.20, so almost under. Was second through, and third right next to him, 100.66, Bedell.
Stuck under the radar there, Will Petrick. Didn't see him on the start list, and obviously made his debut at the Olympics last year. World Championship swimmer this year.
Heat 2 set to go in a sec. Callum Halloran Lavelle, one of those 4 swimmers with a time under the minute, a 59.09 for him. Comes in as his seated time. On the blocks.
Take your marks.
And away in swimming. And looks like we might be missing lane 4 actually.
Looks that way, non-starter. But the rest of the field going out very hard. They were all even down that first 25 metres. But it looks to be lane 6 here. Bailey Crean, Daniel Cave next to him in lane 5. Australian Dolphin, Jonathan Nam in lane 7. So we'll see how this race unfolds. Heat number 2 here.
Also looking strong there, Gabe Gorgeous in lane 3. And I think he's going to touch first at the 75-metre mark. He does, just in front of Crean and Cave. So it's the middle lanes as predicted. The absence of 4 has left the door wide open in this second heat. And down to the wall, I think Crean may just get there. He does, 100.48, 1/100th in front of Gorgeous. And Cave in for third, 100.89. Very tight there for the top 3, and you've got to think they'll have decent lanes for tonight's final.
Good finish there by Bailey Crean.
Training partners as well, those two. So a bit of internal competition. Sure, they race each other every day at training, and then come to these national meets and you get ranked in your heats and you're racing each other again. So
1/100th
Can't
between
escape.
training partners.
Heat 3 of 8 up on the blocks now, and the only other swimmer under the minute mark is in this heat, Felix Dressel de Bruin. 59.23, his best time in the last 12 months. He is in lane 4, and he's definitely in this race.
Yeah, he's a dynamic swimmer across multiple events, and very strong in the breaststroke, obviously. Taken through first, though, is Bayer in lane 5 from the Logan Vikings. But very close between Cho, our visitor from Korea, and Dressel de Bruin in lane 4. Bayer taken through 27.77, only swimmer under 28 seconds, so he really is trying to take charge of this 100 metres breaststroke heat 3, last of the seeded heats. And looking really strong, Alex, with 25 metres to go. I feel he's in the lead, even though the scoreboard says otherwise.
yeah, just popped up a bit early there, and you saw a really, really nice turn there from Cho. So coming down to the wall, skills again. It's a long finish from Cho, but I think he got there.
He did.
59.8 and a 59.9 for a Bayer for second. It's very good, and a 00.6. Dressel de Bruin for third place there. First time under the minute for a Bayer. Be pretty happy with that, I think.
So Bayer, like, I felt really had the skills in tow, but Cho had the stroke. He swam his way through the field each time, and 59.8, 11/100ths of a second ahead of a Bayer. Dressel de Bruin just outside the minute mark. Should get a decent, if not outside lane for the final, because there's some pretty quick times there.
Could be a good heat, this one. A lot of swimmers all in the mid 103s.
Take your marks.
Harry Heath in lane 4 is the fastest of them.
And this is what I was talking about, Tony. Only 0.3 of a second, 0.36 of a second, third of a second separating the entire field in this four heat of 8. So we're not even halfway through, and already we're getting very, very tight on time. But really trying to break away from the rest of the field is August Stang from Norway. So the 20-year-old visitor looks to be taking them through, but pushing up right next to him is Charlie Cook from Warringah. So Stang leads them through 29.35. But now coming through in lane 4, Harry Heath really pushing hard with 25 metres to go. Heath touches virtually at the same time as Charlie Cook out in lane 8, but just has the measure on the wall. Can he do it again on the wall to the finish? It's going to be a lot tighter this time around.
It is indeed. Who's going to nail that finish, execute those skills? It looks to be Cook out there with the 102.6. Heath in second place, 102.8. And Luscombe from Marion in a 103 point.
Confirmation from Tara Kinder, and her disqualification initiated a start before the signal, so a false start or break start.
It's always sad to have a disqualification, especially at the start of the race. You've swum the whole race and you wonder whether it was she knew she moved or something before, and she had to swim the entire race knowing that there was a chance. So not great news for her or for the event itself, but the opportunity is open, as we said, and the top 10 will be vying for that National Championships title in tonight's final.
I'm a believer that if you only get a 0.01 of an advantage by getting a false start, but you win by 5 seconds, did the false start really help you?
Well, no, it really didn't help her at all. It pushed her out of the event. But no, I agree. I know exactly where you're coming from. Unfortunately,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's got to be a black line. We can't have any grey area that you know, she won by more than she false started. It's a penalty nonetheless. It's a very harsh penalty. If you know, you could argue that you know, 2 or 3 seconds should be added to a time, and if so, she'd still be in there and probably still ranked first.
Yeah.
But that's not how the rules work, and we all know that. Sign up for it before we get in there.
Yeah, we certainly do. This is heat 5 of our 100-metre breaststroke for the guys.
So, based on the previous times, Alex, I'm not sure if you took any times, but I would think that you need to do a 00 mid. Even a 00 high might not be enough, but a 00 mid should get you there. So that's what these guys will be going for. But it'll be a tall order here for heat 5 of 8.
They come into this event with times in the 103, 104 mark. So some PBs are going to be needed to get themselves into the final as they complete the first 25. And out in front is, out in lane number 8, Alexander Munro from Bond. And he's a good lead too, about half a length, as he heads down to complete 50 of the 100. Still Munro in front.
Yeah, he's flying along there, Munro. Looks to be a powerful swimmer. You can see his stroke rate up quite high here. Can nail this turn. Looks to be the best of this field so far, but moving back, looks to be fairly tight.
I tell you what, Linus Shad is getting up there, and also is Zeno in lane number 4, our visitor. Munro, can he hold on? Take it? I don't think he did. Zeno did. 102.78 to Munro, 103.26.
Oh, I'm still impressed with that swim. He gave himself an absolute red-hot go in that outside lane, and decent personal best time. Did it the hard way, but he backed himself. First the wall, though, our visitor, the 102. I don't think that's quick enough to make the final for tonight, unfortunately, but still a strong swim.
Confirmation of heat 5. Day 1 of a 3-day competition. Finals in the evening, heats in the morning, today, tomorrow and Friday. If you're in Melbourne, pop on down to MSAC, see some fantastic national swimming short course racing here. as they head into the pool for heat number 6 of the 100-metre breaststroke. And our fastest time is Andre Tallarico in lane number 4. He wasn't our leader though after the first 50. Justin Zoe from lane 2, touching first.
Yeah, went out like a rocket, Justin Zoe. See if you can hold on here. Again, it's good watching the tactics in these races, and especially in the short course meters, because you got more turns, your legs can fatigue a lot quicker. So if you go out too quick, you may not be able to hold on, and then someone's going to come over the top of you. But at this stage, it's the outside lanes, Collins and Zoe. On the other side of the pool, Vandermeer.
Yeah, Collins has gone straight out here. Ted Collins in lane number 1 after 75 and just about to hit the finish. A nice win out there in lane 1 to Ted Collins from Camden.
Yeah, good, great PB there from Collins as well. So right on his PB. So even everyone in these heats, we're trying to improve our personal best and our entry times. And that's the main goal moving into the meet. Getting a chance to swim in the finals is absolutely fantastic, but it's all about hitting those personal bests and seeing all that training pay off.
2 heats to go in our 100-metre breaststroke for the men. Heat 7 on pool deck now. Fastest time in lane 4, Preston Era1 from Cranbrook, 1:05.38. The best time in this group of swimmers.
We're missing lane 6 here, so we'll not have a swimmer in that lane.
That's Alan Liang.
We're just waiting for those results to become official. Looks like the technical officials just looking over a couple of things, making sure everything looks good. We move into this race now.
So heat 7 of 8. Starter has them.
Take your marks.
And away they go into the pool. Let's see who pops up first. Out in lane number 1, Joshua Hargraves. Great start for him. Also lane 7. A good start there as well, but Hargraves was the man to touch first. 13.85.
Yeah, great underwaters, great start. That is oh so important in this short course event.
They're going out after it, aren't they? The rating's high. They're really lifting themselves out of the water. You can see in these shots how aggressive they are in that stroke. And none more so than Hargraves out in lane 1. He's really pushing it hard, but right next to him, Weaver, Batard right next to him there, but it's right across the field. In fact, Ben Huang in lane 9 is right in there. So nothing separating them going in, about 0.4 of a second separating them coming in, and it's going to be similar when we get to the wall. And with a big stretch onto the wall is Dossiter Smith from lane 5. 1:05.91, 8/100ths of a second in front of Weaver. And Hargraves ends up 8th, so that was a very tight finish.
Was indeed.
Wow.
Close race.
Yeah.
Very. Just looking at those times, there's nothing between them.
Well, Dossiter Smith, I don't think, was in the top 3 for the first 75 and then flew home.
So less than a second separating first to 8th. Don't see that very often.
Take your marks.
Final heat for the 100-metre breaststroke. And they are in and swimming. Good start, sorry, out there in lane number 2.
Yeah, it's a swimmers from Nunawading proving to be pretty good on their skills off the starts, off the turns. Can quite often be when you're all training together in that group. You're doing these exercises, you're doing your skills together, and it's a bit of friendly competition as well. But this race is another tight one, which we love to see.
Alfie Graves, our leader, after 50, no, sorry, in the middle.
Yeah, Moravec.
Yeah, Moravec came through to touch first.
Yeah, he's really building this race, looking very strong in this third 25. He'll touch first with 25 metres to go and extend his lead. So I think Fred Moravec has done enough, but I've got to say, Konidi out in lane 6 is coming home like an absolute train. He looks across to see if he can get there. He almost does. 6/100ths of a second. Fantastic final heat of 8 in the men's 100 metres breaststroke, and in a time of 105.34, just inside his personal best entry time. It is Moravec who takes out that final heat. So we wait for confirmation of all of those times, and we see the top 10 going through for tonight's final as we move our attention now to event 13 from this morning's heats, the women's multi-class 200 metres freestyle. Fastest qualified Taylor Corrie, who's well experienced in this multi-class racing. 30 years of age and still racing very, very strong.
Had a great London Paralympics, Taylor Corrie, winning herself 4 gold and 3 silver medals.
Take your marks.
And we see her in the pool here, one of the stars of Australian swimming. She's out in lane 4 and she's out in front.
She has so much fun with swimming. She really enjoys pushing herself in training, but just loves getting in and having a race. And a body length lead, S14 swimmer versus a lot of S19s in this field. McDermott, Biddle, Conhedy, Chantry, Dennis and Lee out in 7, all S19s. Taylor Corrie in lane 4 is along with Chloe Maxwell in lane 8 and Tara Jensen in lane 9 of S14 and Samantha Pratt with an S10. So multi-classes, and it is Taylor Corrie leading them through. Coming up to the 100 metre mark, she's got a good lead, but as we said, races within races, and the S19s will be racing unto themselves. But at S14, she'll be getting a good point score for this very strong swim. 103.08. Entry time of 2:15. So Alex, turning into 103 in a time of 2:15, you've got to think that she's in pretty decent form to better that 2:15 mark.
Yeah, absolutely. If she can just hold this pace, she'll be on for a pretty tidy swim here. And, you know, the 200 free short course, it's a bit different to the long course version. You know, it's much more of a sprint. There's so many push-offs you can do, but you don't have enough time to get into your rhythm, so you do tend to have a bit of a faster stroke rate. So we might be seeing that now, bringing in the legs as well. But yes, very strong swim for Corrie. See if she can get under that mark here. And in lane 6, Pratt starting to move through as well, but it is all Corrie at this stage.
Yeah, it certainly is. Taylor Corrie bringing it home nicely. Samantha Pratt in 2nd place. Emma Chantry in lane 3, also swimming well. She's in 3rd, but it's all Taylor Corrie at the moment. And a nice solid win for her in a time of 2:17.38. So she took the pace off a little bit in that second 100.
Yep, potentially a bit of fatigue.
Yeah, I think half fatigue, half pace, waiting for that final 4 tonight. But very nice swim from the experienced Corrie in the middle of the pool. Looking at those point scores though, it'll be interesting to see who comes home with the most. Taylor Corrie looking very strong with 730 at this early stage, and 690 from Samantha Pratt. So top 10 point scores through to tonight's final, as we wait for all of the finish to finish, and we move into the second heat.
I should just mention with the points, the closer the points are to 1,000, is the closest they are to a world record.
Yeah, basically. So the world record or the world's best or that sort of thing within the last 12 to 18 months. And sometimes, if it's only just been broken, it won't have updated, so you can break 1,000 points and not get the world record.
Yeah.
Other times, you can, not get 1,000 points and still be a world record. So it's basically 1,000 points is the world's best world record, and we're judged off that. So gives you a
730
good
points
idea.
is a fair swim.
That's a very strong swim. Yeah, anything above 700 is great. 800 is pretty rare. 900 is very rare.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very strong swim, especially for a heat swim.
Second heat of the women's multi-class 200 freestyle.
Relax.
And
Waiting for everyone to get lined up and ready to go. We've got a couple of swimmers starting in the water for this event.
So yeah, depending on their ability, whether they're actually able to stand on the block, they're entitled to start in the water.
call up again for a second time. Let's see if we can get them away this time. Starter has them. And we get a clean start this time round. And it's out in lane number 5. Aiko Buckland from Nightcliff. 15-year-old. And just on her inside, Chloe McAuliffe from Lawrence, a 14-year-old, finding it out for first and seconds, and a good turn for McAuliffe. She's right up there now.
Yeah, well, it was indeed a bit of nervous energy at the start. See some supporters in the crowd, give a wave to mum and dad and fire up for the race. So starting to even out now, but both of these young ladies moving through nicely in this event.
So the swimmers are ranked on time coming into this race, so the fastest swimmers based on time in that first heat, and then the rest of the swimmers in this heat. But point score is a different matter, and that's what we're looking for here. McAuliffe in S10, Buckland in lane 5, S14, much like Taylor Corrie in the previous heat. Curry though, S6, Stobie S7, Walker Lee in lane 1 is S5. So plenty of different classes in this race, which is really going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons, if you like, with the point score, because anything is possible, especially with those lower categories, those lower S markers. And as you said before, the S1 to S10, anything under S14, as you said earlier, Alex, that Paralympic classification, but S1 to S10, based on their physical impairments, S11 to 13 vision impairment, and then S14 intellectual. So those S5s, S6s, S7s definitely going to get a few points from this morning heat.
And I think I'm right in saying that S19s aren't Paralympic qualified. I think they're just community.
Yes,
aren't
yeah, exactly. So S15 to S19, not inside that Paralympic classification.
Good finish there, and it was Buckland.
I think they may have stopped 50 early, unfortunately for the girls.
Yeah, I was surprised when you said to the ball, because we do feel like we've still got another 50 to go.
They both finished.
They did, which can happen, as we spoke about earlier in the short course events.
You can't find her goggles that they're on the back of her head.
Chloe McAuliffe, though, took off again and remains in the lead. Aiko Buckland has stayed at the end.
Yes, so a little bit of confusion, but does happen, especially in these short course events. You're doing double the distance, more turns, a little bit of nervous energy. So we're wrapping up the race now for an official time of 3 minutes, 0.9. It's a great effort. Come out here and try and beat your personal bests. That's all we can try and do, and at the end of the race we'll wait for the point scores. But currently still in the water. These ladies are aiming to beat their best time and their entry time. So we're keeping an eye on the clock.
It's a great effort to stop your race 50 metres short and still go out there and still win.
That's exactly right. And I was going to say it might have been a small PB, but I think that was lane 3.
Lane 3 looking at this stage. Yeah, Curry with the highest point score, 600, but we're still waiting for our final swimmers to come in as Dobie touches the wall through 51 and waiting for Walker Lear out in lane 1. Last couple of strokes onto the wall and she gets there in a 4:05.94. So as always, we wait for confirmation of times, point score. Top 10 through to the final tonight as we look now to the men's 200 metres freestyle. 2 heats again. A full cohort for the first heat, just 4 for the second. And some similar names as we often see in the multi-class getting back race after race. James Logan, Jack Ireland, a very strong swimmer, S14. Nathan Maxwell. Things are paying in lane 1. We saw him earlier.
4th of the World Championships in Singapore for Jack Ireland at the Paralympic event there, so definitely a very fast swimmer.
Yeah, he'll look to make a statement this morning, I reckon, Jack. Loves going hard. Very aggressive swimmer. Dealing with a bit of a headwind at the moment here in Melbourne as the weather turns, does what Melbourne does. Gives you a bit of wind. We might even see some sunshine later on. I wouldn't rule it out.
Followed by snow this evening.
Yeah, bring the umbrella just in case the sun or the rain hits you.
Swimmer's about to hop onto the blocks.
Riley Sue looking like he's ready to go as well in lane 3, both S14 with Jack Ireland.
He's pumped up.
Take your mark.
Coming in on seed times, Nathan Maxwell in lane 5, just behind Jack Ireland, so interesting to see where they're at. Ireland, a good start, comes up half a body length in front as they make their way to the first turn, 25 down. And it is Jack Ireland in front. Riley Sue on his inside in lane 3, second. Nathan Maxwell, lane 5, third.
He means business, Alex, doesn't he? Got out very fast and he's not holding back. He's almost got into a really nice rhythm now, even though it is still fast. And a pace that I feel he can hold pretty well for the rest of this 200.
Yeah, his stroke looks really, really strong. You know, we'd like to see those nice high elbows. Took a breath out of the turn there, which can sometimes slow you down in that short course, but overall looking really good and putting some distance on the rest of the field now.
Good battle for second and third between Sue and Maxwell, but Jack Ireland punching away, 55.07 he turns at the 100.
Got about a 3 to 4 second lead ahead of the rest of the field, does Jack Ireland. Good battle there between Sue and Maxwell for second place, but it is about the classifications. Jack Ireland and Riley Sue both S14. Nathan Maxwell S19 along with Benjamin Wills and Sean Deutsch in lane 9 and Andrew Ding in lane 0. So the S14s pushing ahead. And now with about 35 metres to swim, it is Jack Ireland. Very strong.
Yeah, he's looking good here. If he can just hold on. Might have taken the race out quite hard. Looks to be fatiguing a little bit, but still bringing in those legs. I think he's going to go under his entry time here, which will be impressive for a morning swim.
Yeah, 1:55.13 was that entry time. He does a 1:54.70.
Decent amount of points as well, 920. So right up there.
Gee whiz.
That's why he's on the Dolphins team, Jack Ireland.
Bronze medalist in Paris. And gets close to a world record here in this heat. 1:54.7, a fantastic finish.
Easily the highest point score from this morning, 924, Jack Ireland, our swimmer S14. So 26 years of age, University of Queensland, well experienced and knows exactly what he's doing. Looks strong through that swim. And he's definitely booked his spot for tonight's final. How much faster can he go, Alex? That he paced that very well. Yes, he was fatiguing towards the end, but he was out quick.
Yeah, he was. He was out at 55, so look to potentially take the foot off the gas in that third 50, so maybe there can be some improvement there. The last turn might have been a little bit fatigued there as well, so a good rest in between the heats and the finals, and yeah, we might get close to that world record.
Wow.
920 points.
920 points.
In the morning.
On a cold morning.
Into the headwind.
That's a good swim. Let's see how he goes in the final. Heat 2. 4 swimmers on the blocks. Haupt, Tran, Harrington,
Your marks.
McGrain. In and swimming, it is the men's multi-class 200-metre freestyle. And lanes 3, 4 and 5 all getting out together. It'll be out in lane number 3. Tyan Haupt.
Yeah, all S14 categories. We got McGrain is the sole S18 category, but the 3 out the front, lane 2, 3 and 4, making their move early, trying to set the tone of the race here. Now it is a sprint. I know it's 200 metres, but the short course 200 is a bit different to the long course 200. So they'll try and maintain their stroke rates here as they head into the third turn.
Kelvin Tran touches first. 49.70 ahead of Harrington, and Haupt in lane 3 and 3rd. Tran with a half a body length lead. Harrington hoping that he's gone out too hard and he might be able to come over the top. So, sorry, Alex.
A lot of the swimmers doubling up their events this morning.
Yeah.
So potentially a bit of fatigue coming into play. Lane 3, Haupt. I know he swam the 400 this morning. Now he's got to do the 200, so it's a lot of racing. So a bit of fatigue setting in here.
125 down of the 200 metres required to swim. And it is still Kelvin Tran in front. Probably just increasing his lead now, I reckon, from half a body length to a body length.
Yeah, Harrington holding on here. Staying within touching distance. It'll come down to the skills, though, and the push-offs, and who's got enough left in the tank over this last 50 metres.
Yeah, really trying to do everything they can to push himself forward. Harrington really making grounds in this second last 25. And this push-off, as you said, Alex, will make the difference. I think Tran, though, has done enough. The 26-year-old S14 swimmer, Oasis Otters swimmer, is coming down, but it's nothing. This last little bit.
Look at that.
Oh,
Who does get there? Harrington just gets in
100th.
front, 100th of a second. Can you believe it? 100th of a second and 1 point on the board. Gets there. So Harrington in front of Tran, and then helped in lane 3, 225.07.
It's great racing, and that's what they've come here to do, is to test themselves and race against the clock, but race each other as well. So as we see McGrain coming in, had an entry time of 2:45. See how he's going today. A little bit outside that, but still picks up 410 points. So it's a great effort.
yeah. Great finish to that race right there. It was, of course, the men's 200-metre freestyle multi-class event. There's our final results for that heat up on the board. Still got plenty to come here at the Short Course Championships, day 1. We've got women's 50 and men's 50-metre freestyle, the women's 100 and men's 100-metre individual medley, and then we'll finish off with the women's 50-metre multi-class backstroke, and also the same for the men's. We'll take a break. Back with much more swimming action in just a tick. And welcome back to the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, the 2025 Australian Short Course Championships. And our swimmers are on the blocks for the women's 50-metre freestyle splash and dash. This will be 26 seconds of white water and hectic swimming.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look for this to be a bit of a step up in pace, in waves, and not too much tactic in the 50 really, but get in and rip.
Starter's got him, and he lets them go. Harari in lane number 4, Lily Young in 5, Gabrielle King in 6. Harari looks good. Out there in lane number 2 also is Lucy Dring. They touch and turn. Where are our leaders? Dring's actually up there in front in a 12.02 turn. She still holds the lead, but powering home now is Harari in lane number 4, the visitor. It's Dring and Harari going for the win. Dring just gets it. Harari second, not much in it.
Yeah, really good swim there from Lucy Dring. Looks to be almost a second off her entry time, and we saw her in the 200 fly earlier. Now, the butterflies can quite often switch to these freestyle races because, as Matt mentioned this morning, you go 15 underwater and it's legal.
Yep.
And you get 2 of those, so that's potentially 30 metres underwater.
Dring, Harari and Douglas Byrne. Our top 3 from that. Top 10 going through to the final.
Take your marks.
Heat number 2. And away they go. Sienna Wello in 4, Jodie Mead 5, Steph McCarthy in 3, and Wello gets out nicely, about a quarter of a body length in front. She'll turn and come back. It is Sienna Wello. 12.02 was her turning time. McCarthy in second place. It's still Wello though who stretches out the lead now to about half a body length, and a nice swim there from Sienna Wello. She takes the win from Steph McCarthy, and out in lane number 8, Liliana Jones in third place.
Yeah, it really is a splash and dash. You can throw a blanket over that field, barely separate them at the start. And we've been talking about skills all morning, especially in this 50 free. It's about how you time your turn going into the wall and keeping that pace that you had on that first 25. So you don't lose anything, keep that power, keep the speed up.
Not wasting any time. They're straight on the blocks now for heat number 3. Mackenzie Burns in the middle, lane 4. She'll be the one we keep our eye on. A little bit of a slow start, I think, did Burns, as they come out of the water now and out in lane number 3. It could be Eva Potts who's going to touch the wall first. Also out there is Olawanini in lane number 5. Fiddler, though. Claudia Fiddler in lane number 2.
Yeah, Claudia Fiedler, daughter of Chris Fiedler, amazing freestyler still. And she touched the wall first at the halfway, but it's Burns at the 50, 25.34. And Olawini, 25.38. So 4/100ths of a second. And 0.2 back to Fiedler in lane 2. So these 50s coming at us thick and fast. 6 heats in total, 3 down already. They're the top 3 seeded heats, but still an opportunity to make one of those finals, the A final, the B final, still from these final 3 heats.
Just got to swim well,
Take
don't
your
you?
marks.
Get a time up and see how you go. Brooke Miles in lane number 4, our visitor with the fastest time going into this heat. But it's out in lane number 3, Elizabeth Gann, who looks like she's got the power on early. Also up there is Jessica Dean in lane 5. She turns first.
Yeah, you nail the start, nail the turn, and all of a sudden the finish wall is right upon you. And it is lane 3 looking very strong. Gann touches 25.75. And second to the wall, Jessica Dean, 26.05. So underneath 26 seconds there for Gann. Rest of the field in that mid-26 second mark there. We see the results on the board. And not a lot separating them, just over a second separating the entire field there as we move into heat 5 of 6. Only 2 more heats to go in this. We say it every time, Alex, the splash and dash, but it is a bit of fun, especially in the short course.
Yeah, it certainly is. We'll,
Take your marks.
see how they're going off this.
Stand down.
Out lane number 4, Elizabeth Mack.
A little bit of movement there from
Yep.
Elizabeth Mack. Stand down again. Get a re-go.
Take your marks.
And away they go. Elizabeth Mack got a good start in the middle. Mia Yo also up there with her, and Mia Yo might have come out first up there. Mack up there with her as well. This will be good to see who touches the wall first. It'll be close. Whiting out in lane number 2.
Yeah, Whiting really nailed that start. She was definitely in the lead at that 15 and did the turn even better. She's pushed away from the field at time 26.31. That is a very tidy swim from the 5th heat. About 0.3 of a second PB on her entry time. So awesome work there from Jess Whiting for a 17-year-old from Traralgon. As we see the results there. Tiny margin, about well over half a second from Mia Yo and Elizabeth Mack. They're just over 27 seconds. Final heat now. And again, we have Holly Barrett, 37-year-old, 26.85 in entry time, but I feel she's going to beat that.
In they go. Out there in lane number 2 was Georgia Sohn, who got out quick. Holly Barrett in 1, looking good as well. Back in the middle, it's going to be nice and tight. Furlong takes the lead. That's Alexi Furlong in lane number 6.
Yeah, very tight in this final heat. Holly Barrett, 26.85 entry time. She touched the ball 26.78 second. Furlong first to the ball 26.61. So again, our swimmers in that 26 margin. So it's going to be very tight to make that final for tonight.
Some good times set early on in the first 3 of those heats.
It seems almost ironic calling them heats as the chilly wind comes in over this outdoor pool at Melbourne Sports and Aquatics Centre. Results now for the women's final heat of the 50 freestyle. And Furlong from Barrett and Winkles from Nuttawatting, all those girls underneath the 27-second mark. And it looks like Fidler just making it through to the final for tonight in that top 10. So a time of roughly 25 high, 26 low, I believe it was. But we move now into the men's 50 freestyle.
Gee whiz, if you thought the women were quick, hang in there, folks. 22, 23 seconds. We'll see these guys out for 50. Out in lane number 4, Yachin Ji from Korea, our fastest qualifier with a time of 20.91. And he is in the water and powering straight away. 25 down. G turns in a time of 10.12. Out of the water now, and it's G in front. Just on his outside is James Ward in second. But G does well, the visitor, and takes the win.
Gee, that was a very dominant swim. I was very impressed with the first 15, but that turn off the wall absolutely killed the rest of the field. 21.33, half a second ahead of James Ward from CGA. So pretty impressive to gain half a second in 2 laps, Alex. And that is going to be tough to beat as we go into heat 2. So 8 heats this morning of the 50 freestyle. The world record, it's again, we talked about the typo before of Mitch Larkin's 19.9. Only swimmer ever in history to go sub 20 in a metre race, in a metric race. So yeah, very impressive. Jordan Crooks from Cayman Islands end of last year, going 19.9, famously breaking that world record.
Ollie Beauclair, not in lane 4, neither is lane 3. Campbell, Wilson, Moran, they're empty. So this race wide open. In they go. Lachlan Jacket Simpson in lane 5. Hit the water first, came out first, touches the wall in first place as well. A 10.62 for him. In second place there, Maximilian Pine in lane 1. Yago in lane 2. Currently in third, but it's going to be Jacket Simpson. He takes the win. Second, going to Maximilian Pine, and third, back out in lane number 6, James McKenzie.
Yeah, great swim there from Jacket Simpson, 22-1, and you were right, he rocketed off the start. Big splash on the turn. And that's what it's all about in this race, is your starts and your turns. Who can nail the skills? So really good practice in these 50-metre splash and dash.
So Max Pine, another son of Olympic swimmer.
Oh, here's another son
Adam
of an Olympic
Pine.
swimmer as well. Sam Walsh.
Yes, got my
Lane
boy
one.
up in lane 1, so we'll see how he goes.
Okay, they're on the blocks.
Take your
Set.
marks.
Lane 4, Dressel, De Bruin, Felix is our fastest time in the water and swimming, and it's out in lane number 0. Jacob Whitten, who got a great start. Back on the inside, Dressel, De Bruin and Nicholas as they touch and turn. Nichols now takes the lead. Ashley Nichols, 10.63 for him. Dressel, De Bruin right behind him. It's still Nichols though in front as they head down towards the wall. Nichols will take the touch. He does. Dressel, De Bruin second. Coates third. Actually,
Yeah,
we did heat for third.
Swift time there from Nichols. Again, rocketed off that wall, looks very powerful, sitting on top of the water, which is what you want to see in that sprint freestyle.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to blink. That is a very quick time, 22.3.
Happy with Sam?
It was a good swim for where he's at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's we're sort of just working out what go to the full, but no, look, he's got okay.
Good.
It's all about race practice as well and
It is, yeah.
getting those reps in.
And against people like that,
Take your
at
marks.
least you know where you're at, what you've got to do to improve. In they go. Heat number 4, Harrison Tolhurst from Ambrose Tracy, 18-year-old, fastest time. Out in lane number 3, though, I reckon it is in Juan Yoon, who may touch first. He does in a 10.97. Stickland, Johan in lane number 1. In second place, but as they come down, it's out in lane number 3. And Yihan Yoon takes the win ahead of Oliver McKenzie and Johan Stickland in third place. Swimming the Olympics for Samoa, Johan Stickland.
It's always good. Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
I was just in Vanuatu myself at my best mate's wedding. It's beautiful over that way.
Went to school here in Melbourne, though, was at the Maribyrnong Sports Academy.
Very nice. Good representation from the Victorians at this meet. Home meet, home advantage. Everyone with jumpers on is probably not from Queensland. As we got Kai Taylor coming up in the next heat. Olympian, world champion in the 4x1.
23.24 he comes in. Jackson Govers with the same time at 23.24. Lane 4, Jackson Govers isn't there actually. So
Take your
swimming.
marks.
And they go. Good start for Taylor out in lane number 5. He comes out powering. Next to him in lane 6, Matthew Lamb also up there with him, but Taylor will turn first. He does a 10.69. Lamb second, an 11 dead. Taylor now half a body length in front, and he'll power into the wall at the end of 50. And Matthew Lamb finished second behind Kai Taylor, who takes the win.
Yeah, 21.97. That is a tidy swim for the 50 free, getting under 22 seconds for Kai Taylor. So that's got to put him into a decent lane for tonight's final. And coming out of heat 5, that's a pretty good effort.
Results. Kai Taylor, Matthew Lamb, Harrison Reid, our top 3 from that heat. We go now into heat number 6 of 8s. Steve Hansen with the fastest time going into this heat at 23.49.
Take your marks.
Close though, Corbin Zahn, William Yang just behind him as they get into the water and come out swimming out in lane number 1. It's Alexander Hillman who got in there and out first. Touch and turn, and Morton down in lane number 8, our leader from Hillman second. Morton still in front, Hillman putting on the big ones. Also out there is Ryan Lucas. This is tight right across. Morton takes it from Hillman. Sorry, it is Curzendam who took second, Hillman third.
They're very tight there.
Yeah, Colin Tonia was an easy one to pick.
All I could see was white water.
It was. That's the way it happens at the 50 free, isn't it? It's absolutely nothing in it. Now the start, now the turn, and that's pretty much the race in this short course. So some quick times in these minor heats as we're coming through. 8 heats in total. 6 out of the way, 2 to go. 7 and 8. And not a lot separating the rest of this field. In fact, less than 0.1 of a second between this entire field. All 7 swimmers, or 9 swimmers rather.
Anthony Lynn in 4. Got off the blocks nicely too. Did Lynn, and he will come out just in front. But gee whiz, they're all around him. Loafer, Screen. Botanovic also up there as well as they touch and turn. And it's Bishop in front. I didn't even call him. Morgan Bishop takes the lead ahead of Main out in lane at number 1. Bishop still up there. Coming home in lane 5 is Cooper Screen. Oh, that's tight. Bishop takes it. Screen third. Lynn in second place.
Yeah, that was a very tight race. Bishop there in lane 7 had that gap between he and Screen. And Lynn squeezed in between the two of them, 0.1 of a second. As we come down to our final heat now of the 50 free. Just the 3 swimmers.
Oh, they've chucked an extra one in for.
Oh, we've got 4 now.
Yeah.
Someone want to
we've got a pacer
to do it again.
6.
Take your marks.
Burrows in 3, Siu Adachi in 4, Himanook in 5, and our leader in lane 6, who we don't actually have.
I think they potentially missed their race before, and they very nicely let them in to the end. Don't often get that, but a swimmer from Nunawading touches the wall in 22.42.
That's not his name, is he? He's not a robot.
No, that's what he refers to, and if you'd politely say Mr. 22.42, if you don't mind. But great swim there from the final heat of the men's 50 freestyle.
Very much looking forward to the finals of that.
Oh yeah.
That is going to be quick and fast.
Speaking of quick and fast and fun races, we move into one of the very interesting races, the 100 individual medley, only raced in the short course format, so obviously racing 25 metres of each stroke. So 25 fly, 25 back, 25 breaststroke, and then freestyle.
So this is going to be exciting to watch. A change at every turn. 25 metres, as Matt said, of each stroke. Just wait for our guys to get out of the pool.
Probably not as big as of an advantage, on the breaststroke leg of the 100 IM. The 200 IM, you often see the breaststrokers really move through the field, whereas the 100, it's just splash and dash, push off the wall, get your hands on the wall.
If you can't do breaststroke, you can sort of make it okay in this, but it'll still give you an advantage. But yeah, this is just about turns and sprinting.
The way they go.
So heat 1 of the women's 100 individual medley. This is the unique race for this short course format. 25 fly, and Boydie in lane 4 touches first, 12.66 from Nunawading, but very closely followed by our visitor, Vert Monig, who's just taken that lead in the backstroke. She touches first at a 27.80, 25 metres of each race, each stroke. It's pretty tight, and Isabella Boyd just slightly behind Vert Monig from the Norway club in lane 5. Coming down to the freestyle, not a lot in it. Had to take that extra little half stroke, so only 0.3 of a second in it. And now Isabella Boyd, can she come over the top with those long arms? It's going to be tight down to the wall in this first heat. 6 heats in total, and it is Isabella Boyd who gets there first, 101.08. And our visitor second, 101.43. Third home was Ianello in lane 3, 104.71. So we'll keep an eye on those times for the final tonight. Looks like you'll need to get somewhere in that 104 mark at this stage to make the top 10. We should have an A final and a B final in the 100. Top 3 heats, as usual, are seeded. So second fastest qualifier now in lane 4 is Alana Torrance. We saw her before do a very strong swim in the 50 backstroke. So she's in a pretty good place at the moment.
In and swimming. 4 lots of 25s. Butterfly first up, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle, and out in lane 5. Our leader at the moment there is Brittany Castelluzzo.
Yep, coming off her debut long course World Championships team, Castelluzzo, where she picked up a relay gold medal in the 4x200 metres for the women. Looking very strong here, but moving through now is Torrance on that backstroke leg.
Yeah, she has too. She's taken the lead, and let's see if she comes up with the distance in front. She does. Half a body length now for Alana Torrance in front of Castelluzzo.
Very strong breaststroke, Alana Torrance, so I don't think Castelluzzo is going to catch her now. With 25 metres to swim, I think that work she's been doing on her backstroke has really paid dividends in this 100 IM.
Yep, she's really moving away here now. Castelluzzo giving it a good run. As you said, Matt, the breaststroke proving to be the difference. And Torrance gets on the wall first, 101.41. Castelluzzo, 102.6. And Daunt rounding out the top 3 there with 104.3.
Yeah, the 100 IM really a test on all 4 strokes. And Alana Torrance taking out that second heat. Known for her breaststroke freestyle, even butterfly, but not so much for the backstroke. So she's obviously been working on it, and that's put her into one of those centre lanes for tonight's final. Third heat up, Emma Doherty from Bond University, 20-year-old with the 3rd fastest time. So she'll be looking to be the first to the wall.
Interesting race for lane 4 as well in the final, with both our winners so far in the mid-101s. So let's see what Emma Doherty can do. After 25 metres of butterfly, she will turn in front. She does, ahead of Vaccaro in lane number 6. Doherty now onto the backstroke.
Yeah, Vaccaro going nicely in lane 6, as you mentioned. Doherty really increased the stroke rate coming into the wall. And the interesting thing is the back to breast turn. Got to be done at speed in 100 IM. So it's a good chance to practice that and introduce it, but it's going to be Doherty really putting the hammer down in this breaststroke leg. With 25 to go now, and the battle for the minor placings is on.
In the freestyle, Doherty looking strong. Still out in lane number 5, Mathers. Doherty takes the win. 101.71.
Well, you called it. 101 mids.
They're all there, the top 3 winners so far. Not much between them.
Setting ourselves up for a terrific race later tonight. Isabella Boyd in that first heat looked to swim over the top of everyone in the freestyle. See if she can do that later. But moving on now to heat number 4. Spot's still up for grabs.
Stand down.
Little delay as the starter just not quite happy with everyone moving on the block. So got to be nice and steady before we start the race. 6 heats in total, heat 4 on the blocks.
Take your marks.
Off and racing in the 100 individual medley. Everyone loves this event. Everyone loves racing it and watching it. 25 metres of your best of each stroke. And it does look like Barnwell is taking them out early in this 25. Jeffrey 3rd to the wall in the middle of the pool, 13.4. And our visitor taking 2nd, Masuko, as they're into the backstroke. And it is Masuko who has just pushed herself out into the lead in this backstroke leg. 28.98 at the midpoint. And Barnwell doing a good job in lane 5 to hold on now into the breaststroke. It Not enough to separate the field, but definitely enough to consolidate your lead if you're a decent breaststroke, which Masuko is. So our visitor from Japan Club touches the wall first, and now into the final freestyle 25. With 10 metres to go, I don't think she's going to be touched, Alex, but second to the wall is still up for grabs. Barnwell looking strong.
Oh, yeah, it was a great race. The second and third there ended up being Barnwell and Cobus. But then you had the fourth place out in lane 9, Bowden, and fifth place Murray. All extremely tight, so great to see some tight racing. But it was Masuko and the Japanese contingent going pretty well. We've got some Korean swimmers here, so...
We've got a lot of visitors, don't we?
Yeah, it's lovely to be a bit of an international meet to test your short course skills.
Well, it was 0.3 of a second separating the entire field leading into that fourth heat. Into the fifth heat, almost the same story, 0.4 of a second separating the entire field. So less than half a second over 100 metres. These girls are qualified for the national championships. 2 more heats to go.
Realistically, though, out of that heat, probably only the winner, the Japanese girl, will chance for the final. The 104.61, the rest all out with time.
Those 101s were sort of the exception to the rule, weren't they? They were outside. I don't think anyone was a 102, 103. The rest all 104s. So yeah, it just shows how dominant those top 3 are. So opportunity still here. It's not a massive gap between where these swimmers are, 106, and trying to scrape in to a 104. 2 seconds is achievable with a bit of aggression and some good turns. The back to breaststroke turn, always an interesting one. Only time it's ever swum is in the individual medley event, so that can be a make or break.
Heat 5 of 6 in the water and racing. Coming up first out in lane number 2, Emily Draper from MCA. A good start for her. 13.17, she touches ahead of Ho in lane number 4. And then in third place out here in lane number 9, Frances Bourdville from Melbourne Vic Centre.
Yeah, Costello in lane 8, really pushing this backstroke hard. Goes from the back of the field to third in one leg, but Isla Ho in lane 4, touching them through, but really starting to make a bit of a move now in lane 2 is D'Souza, Kaylin D'Souza from Manly, 17-year-old. Draper, in fact, coming through. Emily Draper, sorry, in lane 2, 19-year-old from MCA. She really pushed that breaststroke. We didn't think the breaststroke would make that much difference, but it really did in this event. So 105.66 takes out the 5th heat. I mean, not quite enough to make that final for tonight, the A final, maybe the B final. So very strong swim there, over a second ahead of Costello. And one more heat to go. So 7 swimmers in the final heat. And still an opportunity to make it into that final. Only 0.1 of a second separating the entire field here.
Take your marks.
In they go, final heat, 6 of 6. And coming up first out here is Chiara Hutchinson, lane 6. Looking good also, Amelia Kennedy in lane 5. Kennedy touches first. Second place is Elodie Jewell in lane 3 and Hutchinson in third.
Chiara a long way underwater in that backstroke, coming up right alongside Amelia Kennedy from Caulfield. We saw Amelia earlier in the program. She looks to touch first. She does. Getting under the 30-second mark, just in front of Hutchinson. And now into the breaststroke. So almost a line across the field, Alex, as they come up from that split stroke.
No, I was just thinking that everyone's really starting to bunch up here as they move through this breaststroke and onto the freestyle. But as you mentioned, Matt, we didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but everyone's proving us wrong at this stage. The breaststroke is the leg as they move into the freestyle now. But out there in lane number 1, it's Provoli coming down to the wall. Geez, it's anyone's game here. And it's going to be Hutchison.
Trong from Proverley in second place, Hutchison in third.
Some good PBs there as well. Into the 106s from their 107 entry time. Which is all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, the breaststroke definitely on that leg made a huge difference. Amita Kennedy touched first at the backstroke and sixth at the end of the backstroke. So lost 5 spots going through and finished up in 6th place. So Trong just too strong for them at that breaststroke leg to get herself out into the lead. 105.2 looks to have made it through to the A final. 106.0 making it through to the B final. So anything under a 106 gets you a final swim tonight. And hopefully you'll be joining us here on 9 Now Later tonight for the first finals action this morning, just the heats, as we move into the 100 metres individual medley for men. A few missing lanes, which is quite surprising from the first heat, the fastest heat of 7.
Gallo, Abaya and Halloran Lavelle. Lanes 2, 3 and 4 missing from this one. Opens it right up. And out in the middle in lane number 5 is Polver, Luca Polver. He will touch first, 11.66 for him.
Yeah, looking strong in that underwater there, but it was Smith from Furbank who really worked it well and is going into this back to breast turn in first place. But Polver not far behind, both in the 25-second mark for that first 50 metres.
This is tight between lanes 5 and 7, Polver and Smith. Also in the middle of them, Rashini. So lanes 5, 6 and 7 at the moment. Doing it, Smith in front, ahead of Rashini and Polver. And now Smith starts to power away in the freestyle. Half a body length in front. And Smith takes the win from Polver and Rashini in third place.
Yeah, that was a strong first swim for the men's 100 individual medley, but with those missing swimmers that we saw in that first heat, the door is definitely open for the swimmers in this next heat. So we keep an eye on those times. A 56.2 is third, so we'd be thinking that A final's got to be somewhere in that 56 mark. So finals tonight starting at 6 o'clock on 9 Now. So I hope you'll join us for that, and we'll see who is in those finals with Heat 2 now.
Coverage here on Wide World of Sports as they head into the pool for the second of our heats. And out in the middle, lane number 4, Felix Drizzle de Bruin. Also up there with him is Kane Martin. He touches first, Drizzle de Bruin in second place. Into the backstroke leg.
Yeah, Kane Martin looking very strong up in lane 2. He'll touch first. In fact, Bladen in lane 1 touches first. Back into that breaststroke leg. So looking strong though is Martin in lane 2. Coming through also is Dressel de Bruin. He's had a killer short course season this time around, and now touches first with 25 freestyle to go. So he's put himself into pole position, but right next to him, Bailey Crean, with an amazing last turn, got himself about a third of the body length over Dressel de Bruin, and he'll be touching first. No, somehow Dressel de Bruin gets there. 0.04 of a second, I'm not sure how he did that.
It's an extra stroke there from Crean. Dressel just nailing the touch there. As you know how important that is. Most famous 100-metre butterfly race in 2008. Michael Phelps, got to nail that finish.
Got to stretch for the finish. And that's exactly what Dressel de Bruin did. So fastest time so far in the heats, only 2 heats so far.
The top 3 there were under the third time for heat number 1. As they head in for heat number 3 of 7 here in the men's 100-metre individual medley. And out in lane number 4, Ashley Nichols. Looks like he might get the first touch. He doesn't though. It's right next to him, Luke Bibby in lane 5. Nichols second. But Nichols now takes the lead going into the backstroke.
Well, looking very strong is Zenu in lane 6. He sort of came from nowhere. Touches third. Nichols first, 25.95. Only under 26 second mark. Now into the breaststroke. Wow, what a big turn there from Nichols in 4. He's really consolidating his lead now. So keep an eye on that time, 55.2 from the previous heat. Will he go faster and get a better lane? I've got to say, he's looking very strong in this third heat. Comes down to the wall. It's 55.6, so in line with the first heat. And it's going to be a tight battle for tonight's final.
It just looks like an all-out sprint, and especially when they turn for that freestyle. As we mentioned in this 100 IM, it is 1 lap of each stroke. Shorter distance, 100 metres, a few more push-offs. So it is a pure sprint race.
Yeah, changing the stroke really means you can push it a bit harder. There's less fatigue. You can really go after it. All about the turns, a lot of underwaters. And looking at those times, a lot of swimmers in that mid-56.
56.62 is the cutoff, I reckon.
Yeah, 56.6, I agree. 56.6, third place in that race. And that is going to be the marker. So anything in a low 56 is going to get you there. So that's what we'll be looking for as results on the screen from that third heat. 7 heats in total. It's great to see so many entries in the 100 IM. As we said, the only chance you get to race at, especially the national level, is the short course nationals, which is what we've got here as heat 4 jump on for their chance for a night swim.
Starter has them.
Take your marks.
And in swimming now for heat 4 of 7. And out here in lane number 9, Justin Zhu got out beautifully. Peris, though, back on the inside. Alexander Peris. Akalanka Peris, I should say, from Sri Lanka. Our leader at the moment.
Sri Lankan representative. Another international. Turns well. But out in lane 2, Matt Magnuson, who we saw on the 200-metre backstroke earlier this morning. But it will be Peris from Sri Lanka with that strong breaststroke leg. He's really nailing these walls. Lots of power in the push-offs. He heads into that freestyle, really turns on the jets.
Akalanka Peris from Sri Lanka out in lane number 5. Takes out heat number 4.
That's a quick time too.
Yeah, that gets him in.
So that's going to make that that time just be brought down a fraction to make it into that A final. Only swimmer in that heat to get under that 56 marker. Magnuson just under 57. So a few heats to go, and as we just saw, anything is possible. Such a fun event, the 100 IM. I've definitely raced it a few times. Alex, you've thrown your hat in the ring for the 100 IM?
Maybe once or twice. I was never a breaststroker. Don't have the hip flexibility or the knee flexibility, so...
I won the event in at Nationals at the Australian Championships in 2003, and I tell you, it was not my breaststroke leg that got me that win. It was hideous, but somehow managed to get there.
Charlie Sewell, our leader after the first 25 metres. Here, heat 5 of 7 from the University of Queensland. The cold doesn't seem to be bothering him at all.
No, the northern states battling the weather, but doing it well. So it is Charlie Sewell out in lane 7, moving through the breaststroke leg. But out in lane 0 as well, Ted Collins putting in a really good effort. He's firing off the wall there, putting himself in a good position.
Sewell just in front, Collins giving it to him out in lane 0. It's Sewell to take it. He does. Collins second. And Albert Darwin in third place. That was a good finish. Collins coming home in the freestyle. Just not getting there.
Yep. Dipping under that 59 mark for the first time, Collins. Great effort. His heats upcoming, racing the clock, racing themselves. Just trying to be competitive, get the best out of themselves in these races.
2 heats to come. Men's 100 metre individual medley. And they're in for heat number 6.
So up well is the top of the screen. Bit of a battle between lanes 1, 2, 3, and it will be lane 3 that gets the wall first. Darcy Connell, 11.7, very quick butterfly leg, and really spinning his wheels here in the backstroke. He wants to get onto that wall quickly, make the most of that first 25. He does so in a 26.3 onto the wall. Now into the breaststroke, he has to get a lead so he doesn't get mown down by any of the strong breaststrokers. He's done a great job to hold on. Only one more heat after this. The rest of the field really coming at him. In fact, Forster ties him, 44.84, nothing between them. But Darcy's done enough in that first 75 to hold off the rest of the field, I feel. Strong finish from Sullivan in lane 1. And in fact, he gets it. Sullivan from Lynn and Connell. So the last 5 metres, the lane changed, the lead changed. And the top 5 swimmers getting underneath that minute mark. So great final 25 there and well paced from Sullivan. Connell couldn't quite hold on. Lynn getting in for second. So times official on the screen. One more heat to go of the men's 100 individual medley as we move then into our final couple of races for this morning. We have the women's and men's multi-class 50 backstroke, so a little bit more of a splash and dash. So the heat session is almost done for this morning. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage and stay with us till the end.
Heat 7 away, our final heat of the men's 100 metre IM. And out here in lane number 5. With this one, Matt.
Sveracek in lane 5. Looking strong in that butterfly, but the rest of the field coming back at him now. So Sveracek in lane 5, touches on a 27.18. Second through Rothwell, third Huang. And now it is Rothwell who's really dominating this breaststroke leg. He touches first, just in front of Luscombe.
Look at that. Come
Big
out.
turn.
Absolutely firing. He said, I'm going to take this heat. Let's see if they can get under that 60-second mark.
Oh, well and truly, 59-0.
Good swing. First time under.
So,
Surachik.
59.99.
in fact, yeah, 59.99. So he has been under once, but only just. He's well and truly done it. Almost got under the 59. So great way to finish the heats of the men's 100 metres medley. As confirmation of times are on the screen. Top 10 into the A final, next 10 into the B final. And it does look like a time of about a 56.5 was that marker to get you through. 56.50. Luke Bibby was 10th through to make the final. And B final, the next 10 after that. Final couple of events, as we said. Events 19, event 20. The women's multi-class 50 metres at backstroke, 2 heats. And the same again for the men, another 2 heats. We saw Taylor Curry with a very dominant 200 freestyle earlier this morning. She's back up in lane 3. Nolene Ponto, it's about her 50th race this morning. She's been all over it. 14 years of age, fastest qualifier for this 50 back. So she'll be looking to make a move.
And have the energy of being able to do 3 swims in the morning.
Exactly, she takes a breath and is recovered. Nagagashi in lane 5, a visitor from the Japan club. Gemma Selick in lane 6, but it will be our S19 swimmer Nolene Ponta in lane 4. They'll be looking for line honours in this first heat.
Naga Higashi also in 5 with a solid entry time, and those two stayed in the water the longest, Ponto and Naga Higashi, and they remain in first and second off the wall.
Oh, with a very dominant second turn there, getting off that wall so well was Ponto in lane 4. And she pushes all the way down.
She went from a quarter of a length to a full length, didn't she?
Oh, that was a dominant turn. Was pretty even with Naga Higashi on the start, but absolutely flew home in that second 25. Point score, though, is what counts. And we look Selleck with a point score of 823.
Corey with 914.
Oh, 914, yes.
That is a great swim.
So Taylor Corey, S14. Comes from a dominant 200 freestyle and to the second 900 points haul, second highest points we've seen this morning.
Yeah, I've seen 2 unicorns.
Exactly.
London Paralympian Taylor Corey.
Taylor Corey has done it all. She's been there for years and years and always with a smile on her face. She's an absolute legend of the sport and still looking very, very fast, lean and mean. As the girls get ready for the final heat for the women's racing this morning. Only the boys racing in the men's open 50 backstroke multi-class after this. As we'll get very up close and personal there with lane 5 with Madeline Fox.
Set for a start.
Stand down.
Bit of a delay on that start, bit of a wobble there from Madeline Fox.
Take your marks.
Away clean this time. So who got the better of the starts? It looks to be Pritchard out in lane 3, but it is close so far. These 3 competitors all racing against each other and racing against the clock. It looks to be Curry in the middle, getting the slight advantage, but it could be all to do with this turn to see how they go here. And it will be Curry moving forward now with Fox in lane 5, making a late push. But Curry looking strong. Stroke rate hasn't dropped at all, keeping it nice and even. Nice big splash from the feet. It's going to be Curry on the wall. Let's watch the time. 50.1, just outside her entry time there, with Fox 52.95 under her entry time, and Pritchard under her entry time as well. So fantastic effort from the ladies.
So final, I would say final event for the women, but we actually have a swim off after the final swim for this morning. Only 2 more heats to go for the men's multi-class 50 backstroke. We've got a swim off for the women's 50 freestyle. So 2 swimmers have tied and we need to separate them on points so we can get them sorted for tonight's swim. So we're going to have a swim off as they get ready for the final men's event.
Men's multi-class.
So 2 heats.
Wouldn't be a 50 race without a swim off.
No.
Exactly, those times we see them. So the swim off will be a fun way to finish this morning. But for our coverage this morning, the 50 backstroke will be our last event. Heat 1 now ready to go.
Take your marks.
And away they go. 50-metre backstroke for the men. Out in lanes 3, 4 and 5, our leaders. Dylan Logan, Samuel Quatturix and Nathan Maxwell.
They went out firing, lots of splash around the arms and the legs. Means the effort is at a high intensity, and it will be Gretorix. Stopping the clock at a 27.6. What a handy time, 700 points as the rest of the field comes in. Yep, and it is going to be Gretorix with the highest point score as well, and Logan into that 600. Two S15 swimmers there.
770 is a good point score.
Pretty handy.
Yeah. There's our results for our penultimate event this morning. Into this afternoon. And one heat to go of the men's 50-metre backstroke.
My eye is drawn immediately to lane 3, Ahmed Kelly, Paralympian, and all-round awesome bloke. Always say good day to Ahmed on pool deck, and he'll be jumping up for the backstroke. Not his favourite event, the breaststroke and the 150 IM, more his cup of tea, but he'll still give it everything in this 50 back.
We've only got the 2 swimmers here. So lane 4 is empty. So just Ahmed Kelly and David Bale in
Take
lanes
your
3 and
marks.
5.
Clean start. So they're off and away. Ahmed Kelly winning a world's medal earlier this year. It's David Bale that pops up first.
It was an impressive distance underwater from Ahmed Kelly. Got a good 13 to 14 metres underwater. And obviously with Ahmed's S3 category, doing his best backstroke possible as David Bale comes down to the wall now. Swimmer out of Wodonga City touches the wall in a 40.56, just outside his entry time. 432 points, S8 category, as Ahmed now with about 5 metres to swim comes down. Entry time of 55.34. How close is he going to get to that? I feel it's just going to be outside, a 58.91 with 488 points. So that was the final swim from this morning. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and from the warmth and comfort of wherever you are around Australia or potentially the world, watching on 9 Now, and plenty of action to come over the next few days.
Certainly is, and gee, we've had some great action this morning, gentlemen. Highlight of the morning? Anything ring a bell?
Oh, highlight of the morning was, for me, probably the women's 50 free looks pretty tight for tonight. There were so many. I'm actually struggling to pick.
No, you're right. There was a heap.
Across the lot, every single race had something to give. The 100 butterfly, I'm looking forward to seeing what Matt Temple does there. I felt he's got more to give. And that more of those 100 IMs, which were fun as well. A lot of really tight battles.
Yeah, the women's 100 IM is going to be shaping up to be a good one. I think there's 4 swimmers on 101 there. So who can get the advantage there? The men's 200 back, saw the Korean swimmer there looking like he was taking it very easy, but Matt Magnuson, looking forward to that.
Tyler Corey, can she get a world record? Got close to it.
Yep.
In 970 points, so she might be able to do that later on this evening. Thanks for joining us this morning, folks. Join us later on this evening, starting at 6 o'clock when we have the finals for day 1 of the 2025 Australian Short Course Championships. We'll catch you later on, right here from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre.
Another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.